are recording. 3, 2, 1. Clap.
Clap.
Welcome to the AfrOtaku podcast, episode 42, the podcast where we talk about anime, manga, and everything else. I'm Mr. Good Guy, aka MGG, and I'm joined here by my co-host, who will introduce himself starting right now.
Hey, it's Player 5.
What's going on? It's Jugger.
You're on mute, I think.
What's good? It's Deuce.
All right. I think we're going to skip story time for this episode and jump straight into decent news. Before we get into the decent news, though, I just want to make a quick announcement. We've heard you guys about us, recording more episodes, so we decided to do things a little different. Once a month, in addition to our regular episode, we'll be doing another episode that I'm calling for now for the fans, and it is our fans' chance to get in on our episode with us and discuss some anime related topics, as well as other things, comic books, video games, whatever we feel like talking about in that episode. If you're a fan and you're interested, just hit us up on whatever social media you follow us on, or send an email to send an email to AfrOtakus at thedecentcrew.com, I believe. And that is it. And we'll see if we can get you on for an episode. So on to decent news. So basically, in anime news, we just got a whole bunch of shit dropping in next season and basically winter 2021, which is like the beginning of the year. Jujutsu Kaisen is coming out in October. Noblesse, which I've heard some people talk about is good, is dropping in October as well. The movie by Tite Kubo, he wrote another series post Bleach called Burn the Witch. I've been reading those chapters of the limited series. They're going to turn that into a movie, and that should be dropping October 2nd. So if you don't totally hate Tite Kubo after the ending of Bleach, you still want to give these niggas a shot, whatever it is, you might want to look out for that.
That nigga still owe me a fade to get ran.
I'm not enjoying Burn the Witch for right now. I'll put it that way. I'm reading it, but it's a drag. And then we have Rising of the Shield Hero Season 2. If you forgot all about Naofumi and his adventures, well, he's coming back in 2021, I think January. So look out for that. If you haven't got your science fix in a while, Cells at Work and Dr. Stone Season 2 will be dropping, I believe, next year early as well. So look out for that. If you need some fake horror in your life, Promised Neverland Season 2 is also dropping early next year. And then the 4th season of Seven Deadly Sins, where we can finally get to the part that we all hated in the manga, is dropping. It's dropping in 2021 as well.
Hopefully,
and for those
people better animation.
Right, and for those people who are kind of on the alt of the shonen genre, I guess, or if you're into the other shit like Beastars, ReZero, they are getting new seasons, I guess, in early 2021 as well. I didn't finish Beastars Season 1, so I really don't know what the fuck happened to justify Season 2, but I guess niggas was interested enough that it's still going. So
you sleep, bro. Beastars was hard.
Yes, I'm full asleep.
Pretty legit. I ain't gonna lie.
I hit the snooze button.
The death.
Wow.
Zootopia.
I watched. I got all the way to the part where the chick was for the streets. I seen halfway through the season, seeing the dottiness. I didn't really get it. It just didn't click for me.
She was not for the streets. She was sexually liberated.
That's right. You guys are having a negative connotation of for the streets, but being a hoe is not a bad thing. Didn't nobody say it was a bad thing? We just say you for the streets.
I mean, the point is that you did stop though when you found that out. So the question is more on you for that one.
No, that didn't make me stop. I just didn't get it. I watched, but like it wasn't. I wasn't deriving any interest or value besides like, oh, this bunny looked like she out here really trying to fuck anybody.
Yo. I see Jugga is the only person here with culture.
Y'all keep trying to bring niggas to that other side, bro. It's just stick with my sports, my delinquent manga. Those are my subgenres. But this slice of life love shit, y'all haven't pulled me in yet, bro.
We gonna get you. It's okay.
I'm just saying, like, it gets a little bit deeper than even love, bro. It gets like societal, hardcore.
Mm-hmm.
But in any case, I mean, I understand though. I mean, there's a slight uncomfortability that I got at times too. I mean, we're still talking about animals, banging like that. So I understand what you're saying. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying you got to push past it to get a little deeper. That's all.
Yeah.
Oh, right. One anime also that you didn't mention that I want to get some big ups to is The Irregular at Magic High School. That second season I think is gonna pop off in October as well. And if y'all haven't checked that out, it's mad decent. Like the MC don't play games. Like he about that life. So
What was it called again?
The Irregular at Magic High School.
Okay. Got it. Jugga, you always come with the long name animes, bro. Every time.
Oh man, I mean, I don't know. I got a few.
Yeah. I think next on the docket, we want to just take a second to say rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. He passed away this month. We just wanted to, shout him out. Like I said, my personal. I mean, I guess when I heard the news, I was kind of shocked because I didn't expect someone to be able to keep news like that because I think he had cancer for like a few months or a few years.
Yeah,
4
it
years.
was like for years. Yeah. It was crazy.
Right.
Like,
So for the fact that nobody like in the public was really able to catch that information until he passed, I mean, it says a lot about his team and I guess the people around him that they respected him enough to not leak that information in an age where people are doing nothing but leaks. And I mean, as far as his acting career goes, he's acted as many iconic Black characters and even I mean T'Challa and everything, which I guess more people know him for now. But he's done a lot, and you can
Jackie Robinson.
looking back on it.
Jackie Robinson,
Yep.
James Brown, like,
and it's like looking back on it, you see why. Because I remember watching he was in the Kevin Hart's TV show or whatever on Netflix, and I remember him saying like, when I work on projects, I just really want to be able to like work on something that feels right or feels like it's going to be impactful or something like that. And kind of in retrospect, seeing what he was dealing with throughout that whole time, it kind of makes sense why he was going for the roles he was going for. And I mean, it just teaches you a lesson about value in life and the kind of person he was. So, I mean, rest in peace to him. I don't know if anybody else wants to share anything, but
yeah, I'll say rest in peace. I wasn't a huge fan of the Black Panther movie itself, but I've always said, even after critiquing it, it's for the culture. And so, like, big respect to him for putting on for the culture. A whole generation of kids will have some character that's not white to look to. They'll have some country that's not, ran by a white man to look to. And you just never know how powerful that can be for people.
True.
So RIP, the few years he was on the scene, he put in, more work than most other, Black actors you can even think of.
Those are facts.
Okay. Last piece of decent news is The Boys. So The Boys season 2 is dropped. I've been seeing some niggas hating on it as far as the Amazon ratings go, but these past 4 episodes have been pretty dope. For those of us watching, I mean, what do you guys think about it?
I will say this, like the first 2 episodes a little slow, but what do you expect for stuff to build up?
Yep.
But overall, definitely I like it. We're getting depth out of characters like Kimiko, which I always wanted to know more about. You finally starting to see, some division and tension between Butcher and Huey, which I'm loving seeing that. And then, I always love when they sprinkle in a little bit of reality. Like, yo, these white folks be playing games with Black people, bro. Not even Black people, all races.
Facts.
Put respect on that.
Yeah, I mean, and to highlight the Huey versus Butcher thing, I like it, but also, it's just making me hate Huey more this season because I felt like I think it was in the first or second episode where like they like called Huey out there like, wait, what are you gonna do? You're just some regular kid. You're not like a fucking trained spy like the rest of us. And I feel like it still hasn't hit Huey yet. And I'm just like, you're just not on Butcher's level, my guy. I mean, like this dude has experienced like real loss, has been trained by the fucking CIA, especially Double M and Frenchie, same thing. They all have like this tactical training, and I feel like Huey thinks feelings is gonna like convert the team to his side, and it does in a way, but at the same time, it's still like, bro, like you can't lead these niggas into doing real shit, my guy. It's
But at
not
the
fair.
same time, though, I feel everything you saying. Huey is
Yeah.
untrained. He basically a nigga that sling DVDs. But
Yep.
that heart count for something, bro. He just shown in pro tag because, like, for real, he get more shit done than all these niggas. He
I
get
mean,
more shit done than all them.
with the release of the vault, I thought that was good. Like Compound V, like exposing that and all that shit. I just still feel like, this, at least I hope the story sticks with it this way, which is like I still felt they kept the realistic aspect of the fact that like these niggas kill people and Huey is just like along for the ride. He might be able to contribute in his own way, but at the end of the day, he's still not these niggas. So I just hope they never turn him into like you've been around them for like 3 months, so now you're magically like these niggas.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
you
that bullshit.
yeah, like you can body people. You're a tactical shooter and all this shit. That we're like, Huey, there's no way you're good at any of this or should be good at any of this in this short time period. So I like that separation that they were. It seems like they're keeping true to that. Like I don't mind the
Yeah.
little hero things he does, but it's just that whole. I don't want him just because you joined their squad now magically. You're a badass. You
Yeah,
never was before.
they definitely keep true to it because when Butcher stole off that nigga, like
Yep.
that, but he was concussed. When he stole
Exactly.
back on Butcher, Butcher just looked at him like,
Looked
"All
at
right,
his
bro, you
dumb ass.
good?"
Yep. You want to give me some more? He ain't even had no blood or nothing, bro. He just like, oh, okay, all right. And then they had to push that to keep Huey back because they were like, you don't want him to respond with another one of those punches, my guy.
He felt
So,
that.
yeah. But dudes, did you have anything to add on the boys, or you good?
No, I'm good. Y'all touched on pretty much everything. I clearly didn't pay attention as much as you guys did, so I probably have to rewatch those episodes.
Oh yeah, I definitely got to highlight that again, which is, I think you brought it up too, Player Five, but just the undertones and the what do you call it, like the mirroring today's society through whatever Homelander and Stormfront are doing. I think that shit was dope. Like,
Yeah.
and especially seeing their different ways, even though now we're starting to find out that Stormfront's been for a while. But I remember reading this on somebody's Reddit thing. Shout out to whoever posted that. But they were talking about like Homelander's approach to problems and kind of like the old American way and how Stormfront is like basically using social media and all this other stuff. But at the end of the day, she's still closetly racist behind all of it. So it's like to the outward person, she seems like, oh, she's nice, she's for the people, blah, blah, blah. But she's still like, fuck y'all behind the scenes, which I feel like can be attributed to a lot of people today. Like it's safer for you to seem woke in whatever in today's society, but you might not actually be that once you log off the computer.
And that's the thing. Like she from Portland, which we know like Seattle, the West Coast is super liberal. And then she got like, her hair shaven. She's speaking up for like women's rights and stuff. So you really think she with the shits. But then at the same time, her outfit looks like a Nazi outfit. And she got like storms and lightning bolts, which obviously also kind of conjure up the whole Nazi feel as well. And it's like, and then she like racist, bro. She like hardcore racist in this bitch. And it's like that be that thing, bro. I'm telling people, it be the ones that be out here trying to, preaching Black Lives Matter, but then start burning down the community, bro. Like she is that right there.
Yep. And then another point, I just want to put some respect down because I had finally caught up with Better Call Saul like a couple months ago, or at least is what's on Netflix. But I appreciate that Gustavo still kept his balls this season because I definitely thought he was gonna get punked by Homelander. But I liked how he was. It still seemed like there's people in the world that aren't just gonna get intimidated by the laser beam eyes or whatever the fuck Homelander can do. So I fucked with the fact that he put that nigga in his place when he came to his office. That shit was hard to me. So shout out to him. I'm glad they didn't hold him because I thought they was definitely gonna hold this nigga.
Right. Oh, another little tidbit, bro. It had me feeling bad for A-Train. Is when he had brought up that point when Starlight was like, oh, it's not about the money. And he was like, bro, only people who grew up with money say it's not about the money.
Right.
I was like, yo, he's spitting facts, bro. And now I feel kind of bad for him. Even though I know he a piece of shit.
Right? A full piece of shit, bro.
The worst piece of shit there is, but I kind of feel bad for him now.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it, I guess, on the boys. And that is it on decent news. On to the anime segment. So first up, we got Stronger Than. This edition of Stronger Than will be better villains than your boy Madara. For those who don't know who Madara is, I'm not gonna spend too much time explaining it, but he's the big bad from Naruto. Basically, the key points to why I think people hype him up as a villain to give people context on the people we'll say is better than is mostly because one, he has some dope action scenes in the beginning.
1v10,000.
When he 1v10,000 when he got revived. So niggas put a lot of respect on his name for his combat ability based off what he was able to do. So some fodder ninja. Two, I don't think anyone puts a whole lot of respect on his plan, but they do put a lot of respect on his name because he was a rival to the first Hokage, who has a lot of clout surrounding him. First Hokage being the very first leader of the Konoha village. Once again, I can't go in too much in depth. Just watch Naruto if you don't know any of the terms that I'm saying. But people put a lot of respect because that guy was so strong and was touted as the strongest probably up until Naruto came into his best. And he was rivals with Madara. So at that point, I would say most of it comes from the strength aspect of Madara, which is why they put it there. The whole plan part of it, it's up in the air because that shit seemed kind of accidental to me, but that's another discussion for another day. So on to the villains we think is better than Madara.
I'm gonna go ahead and start if ain't nobody else feel like it.
Go ahead.
So I put All For One as a villain better than Madara, and so here's my thing: is that yes, Madara had absurd power, but I mean, okay, so did everybody that got revived from that generation. So I'm not that hyped for that. But his overall plan was, I really hate this nigga Hashirama, and he beat me. I'm mad. So now y'all about to feel it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
his motivation. At first I wanted to be like, yo, bro, he mad because the Uchiha had been oppressed and all this, but he didn't get no fuck about the rest of the Uchiha. He wanted his own W. That nigga was mad because he kept losing. And that was his whole reason for puppeteering everybody, because he a big ass L taker. And so I put All For One up there because that nigga had some real life reason for being a villain. The nigga was born in a generation where niggas wasn't sure about their powers. He had the ability to take and give powers. Oh, you ugly, you don't like your power? Give me that. Oh, you mad you ain't got no power? Here you go. Here you go, bro. Now you owe me a favor. And slowly but surely, that led him to being a big ass mob boss.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, bro, like I got respect for that nigga. He is a villain of opportunity, became a mob boss, and after 200 years of mobbing, you can't just expect the nigga to stop. You know what I'm saying? Like shit, he in the game now. He got the juice, bro. He gotta keep going until somebody stop him. So like, you know, that nigga really just American capitalism at its finest. So I ain't even mad at him.
Wow.
He's not wrong.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw out Gilgamesh and Kirei Kotomine as one from really the Fate Zero series, but I would say Fate Zero, and you can just say general Fate series because Gilgamesh stayed through. Kirei, on the other hand, shit happened. But why I put them on there though is that I think as far as strategic planning goes, they definitely outshine Madara's. That their final plan was pretty dope and pretty much was outside of like a few cogs here and there. I would say was more or less executed successfully. Like they kind of won at the end, at least in Phase Zero terms. And then in continuation of the Phase series, you see Gilgamesh he ended up losing, but in the end, also still kind of did what he wanted to do, anyways. So, as far as that goes, strategic planning, I got to put them up there as far as villainy goes. As far as overall strength goes, two of the strongest characters in their series. Gilgamesh, first of all, the way Fate series works, you summon you can basically call them chess pieces, but they all fight in this magic war. He got summoned as what I would consider like a not as strong chess piece. He was like an archer at first, and he was still the strongest nigga. Like Berserker couldn't really ride with him. Like whenever he was involved in a fight, Gilgamesh was still coming out on top, and it really didn't matter what advantages the people he fought had. And then Kirei on his lonesome was just a raw ass nigga, bro. Like the fight versus him and Emiya's father is one of the dopest fights in anime history. So if you haven't watched that, just Google like Kotomine Kirei versus Kitsurigyu Emiya, and you'll see. So as far as combat ability goes, still better than Madara. Strategic planning better than Madara. So by those two right there, they're better villains than Madara to me. But that's mine.
I'm gonna go ahead and drop out the Bleach big bad, which is obviously Sosuke Aizen. I mean, for those of y'all who don't know about Bleach, just know that Aizen is just, I mean, he pretty much like worked under at first like the secrecy of being the bad villain, kind of like Madara and All for One, but still did it while in the spotlight at the same time. You know, I mean, like he was that pretty much, I'm a good guy, y'all could trust me, it's all Gucci, but at the same time, literally being the worst villain. And then the actual reveal was just so cold. I think I got to give him like big ups for being a villain just because of how ridiculously cold and merciless this mother effer is. And then when you find out the big secret at the very, well, close to the very end, where it's like, bro, all y'all about to like get the smoke from me, let's go. It turns out it's not even him, but effing like his homegirl that didn't even realize that she was being hypnotized too. And that was just, I mean, like that twist was one of like the biggest twists I've ever experienced in anime. Like no one was ready. Nobody was ready for that one. And I was just like, God damn. This kid seriously, like, literally hypnotized like the entire verse practically at like the same time and was just banging like that for a minute. And then, not to mention, at the very end, he was only beat because of the one thing, literally the one thing that he got wrong was slightly underestimating Kisuke Urahara. And if homie just bodied him at the very get-go, none of this, like, he would have never lost. It would have just been GG, the world is Sosuke's, and that's it, that's all. So, don't sleep.
That's a fact. Deuce.
So me.
Yes, sir.
Honestly, pretty much most of the main villains are better than Madara. Because usually villains have like more build up. They have more time to kind of explain the reason for that they're a villain, pretty much. Like Player 5 said, it's just like he hated Hashirama and then that was it. So I would go and say every single one we have listed. Let me go through the list real quick.
And
Dang, we're not even going. We're not
so
going to say that for.
saying that pretty much every villain is better than Madara? I mean,
No, I'm not saying every villain. I think all the main ones though. So all the like the main villain of a shonen, not the smaller ones, but the main villain of each shonen, I think is better than Aizen. Not better than Aizen. I mean, it's better than Madara.
So would you argue like Akainu is better than him,
I don't
or
really see him as
Blackbeard, or I guess Blackbeard over Akainu? If you
One Piece
talk
is weird. I don't really see One Piece as like villains.
villains
how,
in that way.
How yeah, in that way. You know, it's kind of weird.
I feel like One Piece a bunch of niggas trying to come up on each other.
Yeah, it's more like antagonists to me in One Piece, not actual villains.
Yeah, I think you could still make an argument for Blackbeard. He seems like He seems like the closest thing to a shonen villain there is in One Piece.
I mean, shit, to me, Blackbeard, the main character, my nigga on the come up, bro.
Oh my god. Oh,
Knock that weak nigga Ace off. Like you talking about? Got two powers.
Two pieces ass.
Kill he coming up in the world, bro. He a Yonko nigga. Get off my nigga.
Wow. All right then. All righty.
I mean, he is one of the few characters who actually bodied somebody. If you think about it like that, low key.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Loki, the only person. So yeah.
You know, I want to honorable mention Pain. I just want to say this is that I think Pain is the best villain in Naruto, and it's a shame that they had this nigga being manipulated by Madara, who was being manipulated by another person. Pain had a real reason to be a villain. Like, yo, bro, I was just trying to be a regular nigga, and y'all came stomping through my hood. Y'all killed my friends, my family. So now that I'm about to kill your friends and your family, how can you be mad at me? He really had that nigga Naruto sitting there quiet, not saying no words, just hot. Like, this nigga right, but I'm still about to knock his block off. You feel me? Like, I really fucked with him. He came through, destroyed Konoha, no words, nigga. Catch this nude, and that's it. I love it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if we in the honorable mentions, let me toss out my two real quick. First of all, just as a Madara copy but better, I would say Acacia. Like someone having followed the similar storyline of being around in the very beginning of the lore of the story and then magically out of nowhere coming back to life. Acacia, to me, did a much better job than Madara did with that position. One, he wasn't really being controlled by anybody. He if anything, he really finessed niggas. So that was that. And then in terms of power, I mean, like he was out here bodying niggas, so he had to bring out the strongest stops of everybody in the damn series. So yeah, Acacia, as far as a Madara copy goes, if anything, I wouldn't even say honorable mention as much as like he's better than Madara. Period.
For sure.
And then
I mean, like he's the best like villain reveal. Like person you thought was good that was evil, actually evil. I think I've never seen it. Dude. We really thought this nigga was like their hero, bro.
Facts. The readers thought, the fucking characters thought, we were all fooled. Like, and even when we kind of found out, we were still like, wait, it's like, no, he's probably like, there's probably some good intention behind this. It's like, no, that nigga he's evil, bro.
Yeah, well, we thought Neo was controlling him, but no, that nigga was controlling Neo.
Exactly. Wild. But and then the last one I would put out is Yoshikage Kira. He is more of an honorable mention from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 4, I believe, or yeah, because Part 5 is Golden Wind. So yeah, Part 4. He was the serial killer main villain there. I would say why he's honorable mention is he was pretty shitty in the beginning. Like they basically caught his ass, and then if it wasn't for like the stand thing that he got, that's when his whole shit leveled up. And and whenever you bring out a JoJo's character, they're A+ in the strats. So he's up there, probably better than Madara and strats. But in terms of strength and shit, it's definitely coming from, his broken ass stand.
We want to roll with the weaker thens, or anybody got any more honorable mentions?
No.
So I'm gonna have to toss out Frieza and Toguro. Both of those I think deserve at least a little light spotlight. Frieza, I would say, because like I think probably I would appreciate it more if I rewatched it now. As a kid, you don't realize it, but Frieza was a fucking racist, bro. Like a nasty evil fucking racist, bro. And I think now watching it, yeah, that's what made him a great villain, though, because he just had that hate and he could back it up. He's like that redneck you never want to meet that can say the N-word but can also beat your ass at the same time. Because it's like, you have to fight off the fact that he called you the N-word, but at the same time, you probably gonna lose that battle. So you just more mad because he can still say it and you didn't get to teach him a lesson about it.
Right.
And I felt like that was Frieza until Goku turned Super Saiyan, because he was backing that shit up.
If we putting respect on Dragon Ball villains, I got to put my respect on Super Boo, because like he one of them villains that's like, bro, I ain't got no purpose, nigga. I'm here to ruin your day. And he did it. You know what I'm saying? Like that nigga, bro, I kill every nigga on this planet. Now what? You gotta go wish all them niggas back, bro. You lost, nigga. I won. Like that's why I'm like, bro, I'll forever fuck with Super Boo. They was like, yo, just let this nigga kill some people so we can save time. Killed all them niggas. Like, what's up? I always got respect for him. No words. I don't want nothing. I don't need nothing. Ain't no talking it down, nigga. I want the hands. That's it.
That's facts. All right, let's hit the floppers, then.
Okay. I have put two down, but if somebody want to take one, sure, or I can just talk about both. Either way. But I'm gonna start with Orochimaru, and here's my thing. I am a Orochimaru stan. I refuse to let niggas just shit on him for calling him weak when I think he's probably one of the strongest ninjas in the history of Naruto. and one of the most influential. But with that being said, for every reason that I call Madara trash is the exact same reason that as a villain, Orochimaru is trash. His reasoning is dumb as fuck. That nigga was like, y'all didn't pick me, be Hokage. Well, fuck y'all. Like, well, nigga, you was kidnapping kids. So, like, how were you mad at anybody? You was kidnapping kids, son.
Hey,
Like,
bro, he had to do what he had to do, man.
I feel you, but at the same time, bro, if I walk up and I slap a nigga grandma, bro, I'm not gonna be hot when that nigga come whoop my ass. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know what I was getting into. He a big goofy for that, like Orochimaru. I could see you being mad just on some bro. I just hate you, and I've always hated you. But he's mad for niggas responding in a way that they should have responded. Honestly, they should have responded worse than that. You know.
Yeah.
So it's absurd, really. I'm like, you have no reason for being except being a petty nigga. It's like you was born to be petty, bro.
But that's what makes him so great,
right?
he's that you know, like the whole what they talk about, like cockroaches being the only thing that survives like the nuclear holocaust. Orochimaru is that cockroach in Naruto. It's like he's there always. Like even now, he's still fucking there. It's like, is this nigga gonna die?
This guy pretty much like found out immortality on the low. Like,
yeah. But the crazy thing is like niggas know that, like, yo, if you see Orochimaru, he stole somebody's body. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas know this. And then like the other nigga I wrote down is Licked, because like at the end of it, he was the most puppeted nigga on the planet, bro. Like, oh my god, he was like fucking Pinocchio in this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just really.
And are we talking about real Lit, or are we talking about Patrick?
Oh, fake Lick, Patrick. Because real Lick ain't Real Lick ain't do shit. Real Lick was just like, oh, I'm gonna save every single elf. Boom, and he did that. Real Lick came through clutch. My bad. I mean, fake Lick, Patrick. That nigga was such a fucking puppet. It is disgusting. And at the end of the day, he still got talk no jutsu. It's like, what was your worth? You killed the Wizard King, but you only did it because that nigga had to save everybody. Like, you wasn't even stronger than him. He literally got 0 L's, none, or dubs. The only dub he got was being captain of the Golden Dawn, and they didn't count for him.
Wait, was that Real Lick that bodied them, or fake Lick that bodied Yami? Sorry, not Yami. Yuno and Asta in that battle when they like tried to double team them.
That was Real Lick. Real Lick bodied them, nigga. Fake Lick got folded by Asta before he learned Ki. That was the first nigga that got folded.
Oh my god.
Real Lick was not for the games, bro. He beat both them niggas up.
That's a fact. Yeah, I mean, I definitely co-sign the Patrick on here, bro. He's below trash as villains to me, bro. That nigga's horrible. I'm also put Diavolo on this bitch. I guess I'm in my JoJo's bag because I just finished part 5. But Diavolo from part 5, I would say, is trash mostly because I felt like he was really shitty at cleaning up the little evidence that did exist about him. And second, I felt like for those who got to the end, when he fought the Iron Homie assassin, like basically if Bujirati's team low-key didn't do anything, they would have killed I feel like they would have killed Diavolo earlier. One, because they kind of already had the dub in place anyways. And if it wasn't for basically like the tiny whatever the fuck dude's Aerosmith, I think it's called, his thing killing them, Diavolo basically would have been dead. But either way, to sum it up, he's just he was good at hiding himself, and that's pretty much why he lasted as long as he did. But when it came down to actual doing shit, if it just wasn't for the fact that he had a broken ass hand, this nigga would get dropped. He had 0 strats to me.
Yeah, he was all good for action, but he wasn't good for reaction.
Exactly.
I do got to give him like the big ups as far as like building his mob world. Like homie did that quick. Like homie had Italy on lock pretty quick, considerably. So that I'll definitely give him the big ups for. But for him to be able, for his whole empire to topple as easily as it did, like grand scheme. No, you're definitely right. Like that's kind of like very sad.
Yeah, and really, like it was hanging on the thread that nobody really predicted that this nigga had 2 personalities. Like once they all came to the conclusion that he did, it seemed like all the puzzle pieces finally fit, and that's what fucked everything else up. Because then he would just like whenever anybody figured out, he just happened to be in the same room to kill them. But
Facts.
before that, it was like, I mean, first of all, Jean-Pierre Polnareff was about to body you. Like, if it wasn't for your broken ass power, if he didn't know your power, like that nigga was dead. So, not saying he's not an up there character, but as far as his original Part 3 team, Jean-Pierre was the stupidest one that always got his ass like almost
That's
handed
true.
to him first. So at the end of the day, that should already kind of tell you where he lands in villainy for me. But any other weaker ends?
None that's immediately coming to mind.
Nope.
Ooh, nah, he did a good job. I was about to put out Fire Lord Ozai, but I'm like, no, I think he's better than he might be better than Madara.
Yeah, he did his job. He just got stopped by an overpowered little boy.
Right.
You can't do shit about that. When the pro tag come and clap you, like every villain take that L. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact. He wasn't ready. Shit.
Wait, by consequence, what about Azula though?
It's hard because that's hard for me to say because I don't see her in a villain the same way I see Madara as a villain.
Yeah, she's not a top. She was never at the head. She was never, she's more of a henchman, a cat.
Yeah, she was a dragon
she was a vice
Ozai's
captain.
big bad.
Mm-hmm.
Just the powerhouse that protects the big bad and enforces shit, but not as cold.
I'm like, any failure she take low key can still be put back on Ozai because she's just acting on his words.
Yeah,
she's the Darth Vader to his Emperor basically, but without the straps. I'm just trying to think from the big ones because I'm sure there's some other shittier villains out here. I just want to make sure we're not missing any of the big ones. I will toss out the Demon King from Seven Deadly Sins because I just hated him as a villain. He lasted way too long, and I felt like whatever his end plan was, it just never hit for the readers. So yeah, fuck him. He could definitely go up on there for shitty big bads. Who else? What other villains did I absolutely hate? Dang, that might be it for me right now.
Yeah, I don't, because I feel like Madara's filth is only expanded by the fact that Naruto was literally like the most popular anime in the world for a moment. So it's like he was on a really big stage, and I'm sure there are people who are more ass, but it's like, ooh, were they ass at the culmination of the biggest anime in the world though?
Right.
So it's tough.
All right. I guess we can move on to the next topic. So, Luffy versus the Hunter x Hunter verse gauntlet. So I don't know what character. Do we remember what characters were on this post specifically, if there's any, or are we just gonna take our top tier Hunter x Hunter characters and put it up against Luffy to see?
The original post, they didn't set it up like it was certain characters that was in the Hunter x Hunter verse gauntlet. But if I remember right, in the picture that they had with the post, it was Luffy and the Spider Troop. I think it was like the Spider Troop and then like the main Gon squad. So Gon, Killua, Kurapika, Leorio, and then the Spider Troop. But still, how they phrased the actual question, it was like the whole Hunter x Hunter verse. So I would say the whole verse is free game.
Yeah, I think the key here for me is how much save does strats give you against a strength nigga? Because I think now where we're at with Luffy, if we're taking his current manga form, I don't know what his power output is exactly, but I'm assuming it's definitely not country level, but it's, I would say, city level plus, maybe we're thinking, as far as what he can output with like Gear 4th and all that stuff, if not bigger. Because Gear 3rd is pretty huge. We've seen him take out some pretty gigantic ships. Like, I want to argue that he might be somewhere around there. I don't know exactly though. What is everyone else thinking?
So are we talking about just like the whole verses, or what we thinking on Luffy's power level?
I was talking about Luffy's power level, but if you have your thoughts on the verses, you can do that too. And I'm just marinating my thoughts out there.
So this is just Luffy versus people, right? Not One Piece versus Hunter.
No, it's just Luffy versus 800. I guess it's just Hunter x Hunter characters lining up.
And I guess where did this question come from? The decent spot?
I think it was a post somewhere, yeah.
I mean, I think Luffy's gonna lose pretty quickly. Shit.
I give a lot of save to the strategy, but then again, I just when it comes to power output, I don't know how much it's gonna affect certain characters in the Hunter x Hunter universe.
I mean, I
I'm
think
gonna
power
say
output
this.
wise, it's probably similar, like One Piece versus like Hunter.
Oh,
Obviously, I think the lower level of Hunter might be lower, but thinking about the top tier of Hunter, I
yeah,
think they up
Miro
there.
Netero, I don't see L's because they have the strats to back up the
Yeah,
strength.
exactly.
So
Like
I don't
it's a
see
wrap.
L's from those.
I mean, even like the Sun guy or Phaeton or whatever,
Yeah,
in the spiders, like Luffy is it's a wrap.
I don't know about that, bro. Like, real talk, like I think Luffy is outpowering any individual. If they trying to meet muscle to muscle, definitely outpowering and outlasting them niggas.
yeah.
Um,
So a gold
the
might take a L, is what you're
yeah,
saying.
the only thing I'm saying, and I think he might be strong enough to literally, if Bug King homie was like square up, like Luffy will watch that nigga.
Oh wait, wow,
If we talk about just off hands,
that's a
nothing
big
but hands.
claim.
But now when we add in the strategy aspect of it,
Mm-hmm.
this is where it changed. So, like, let's say if we going against these niggas 1v1 and just like a gauntlet, like I could see them niggas being like, all right, bro, this how we gonna do it. One of y'all, when the head of the spiders come up, don't fight that nigga Luffy. Ask that nigga if you can join his crew. By joining his crew, you officially make this nigga a part of the spiders. Once he a part of the spiders, Kurapika bang this nigga, bro. Like, that's it. Like, as soon as he joined the spiders, my nigga Kurapika putting this nigga in the dirt. That's facts.
Wow.
I
I
mean,
don't give a fuck
that
what
is
his
a
power
That
valid,
shit funny as hell.
that's a
Wow.
valid Hunter x Hunter strategy. I could totally see.
This mother
I definitely could see that. Also, let's
I-
not forget about you could just low key drop Killer with sister on that bitch too. You could just
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
do a
So I
crazy
think,
wish, drop that
yep,
bitch off for Luffy, and just be like, "Hey, Luffy, give me your life, nigga." What?
I think
What?
anyone that throws hands, like just a straight hands, is probably gonna
Yeah.
lose to Luffy. But the thing is, like, that's not most of Hunter characters. I feel like most of them have some weird ass powers and use them in weird ass ways where I don't know what he can do.
I mean, when we're talking Phantom Troop, for sure. But there is like one dude, the dude that just looks like a regular white guy with the jumpsuit. That nigga's power is strength based. Like he winds his arms up, and the more he winds his arms up, the more
Well,
punches.
him and the one Kurapika killed.
Oh yeah, Vogan. Yeah, both of
Yeah,
those are just
so
strength
both of them
niggas.
getting
So
dropped for sure.
they
Yep.
could get an L. But I would think, yeah, when we start talking top tier Phantom Troop members, meaning like maybe the swordsman Nobunaga, I argue is probably up there in their ranking.
Ooh.
Obviously Crollo, Lucifer, and like you said, Phaeton. Those
Oh,
are some
actually,
niggas.
I take it back because if Luffy can like predict their like attacks and shit, like how he does in One Piece.
with hockey.
Yeah, they
No,
probably.
that's still a thing because I swear there was somebody that did that in Hunter x Hunter, and somebody countered that nigga.
Yeah, probably they would be the niggas to counter it,
But do
I
they also
definitely
got the speed and power that Luffy got?
exactly, that's the thing.
And then also, how many niggas can physically harm Luffy? Like, once you get past all the bullshit, when you land your hit, how many niggas actually gonna harm Luffy when they hit him?
The argument then is like if you could use then in to replicate hockey type of things.
I think that's
'Cause if
actually
you
safe to
could,
say, based on
if
what
you
we learned about Nin. I
yeah,
think that's
so
actually
if you could, then they should be able to hit him.
Okay.
And which I would argue too, because they are very similar in nature, the hockey and then thing. So I would argue that you probably could just say, oh, a nigga with Nen could probably touch Luffy.
Yeah.
And then
I'm
you
gonna
have
be 100 though. 99% of niggas not making it past the gum gun Gatling gun. Most of these niggas dead after that.
But if we take the toppest tierest of niggas, that's really my question. Because I feel like the regular hunter groups, like, yes, of course they're dropping. But if we take a gang, if we take a partisan, if we take fucking Netero, Miruem, you can even take Killua and Gon if you want because they're the main characters. The top tier niggas from Phantom Troop, Killua's fucking parents. Like, are these niggas, and that's where my question is, Hisoka, are these niggas that actually would take the dub on them? Or do we think somebody in that tier is also taking an L? That's
I
that's what I'm
think
reverse
niggas in
my
that tier
stance.
are.
I think most of them are getting dropped. I think maybe only like 3 people wouldn't. Maybe
So
like
Hisoka's taking an L?
yeah, I think
100%.
Hisoka will take an L for sure.
100%. And here's my thing: is like unless you have a very specific skill that is like uncounterable, unless you're a master of Nin, like some nigga like Kurapika or something, you're taking the L. I don't give a fuck how shifty you are, because we saw even how shifty Hisoka was. Volleyball nigga was really
broke
giving
that
that
nigga
nigga some
hands,
work.
boy.
No, yeah, the volleyball nigga definitely went through his ass, but
Like a nigga was able to cut his arm off. Like Luffy will gum gun, Gatling gun this nigga out of existence, bro.
yeah. But I feel like definitely Netero has the speed, because didn't he do all that shit in
True.
0.01 of a second?
That's why I'm saying, like, I was saying
he
3
up
people,
there.
as in him, probably like maybe the Bug King buddy, and then Crollo. I mean, I'm sure there might be other people. We just don't know shit about them to say
Yeah,
that.
I mean, I'm just gonna say now. I think Gang has a shot for sure. I don't have the evidence of that yet because he hasn't shown too much what he can do. But I argue that nigga probably will have a shot if we ever get to learn more about what the fuck this nigga can do.
So what makes me think them niggas actually don't have a chance against Luffy is because we see Gon at his max power, and Pito said like, "Yo, this nigga is on level with the boss man." Like, obviously that's not hard facts, but that's as close as we gonna get. And we saw that the damage that nigga was putting out is nothing that I in the One Piece world. Where I'll be like, "Whoa, look at this nigga." I'll be like, "All right, he a decent nigga in somebody crew. He's not a Yonko."
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Actually, that's a little debatable. I mean, that like the strongest hit that we see going like a completely powered up against Pito. I mean, homie like sent them what seemed like miles. I mean, I would have to like replay the actual shot, but like that punch, like the actual, like rock scissors rock, and like actually hit Pito at like max power. Homie was flying through trees, rocks, and again, what seemed like blocks. I mean, that kind of blow to me was kind of like up there, even in like One Piece world, F around.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it might be however we perceived it, because when I looked at it, it was big, yes, but it didn't seem crazy. You know what I'm saying?
I gotta watch it again, but I mean, it looked like homie like flew. Like Pito was gone. So I don't know. Like to me, that's not like, I mean, that kind of punch isn't like a basic punch in One Piece. Like that's like that was kind of like a blow.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that was like the slow mo. Like you see the fist and like in someone's back. If he homie got hit in the stomach, kind of hit, and like homie's like gone, like through a whole mountain or something. Maybe not a mountain, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like Gon, and especially considering that Gon wasn't like. He was going all out, yes, but it's not like he was going all out as far as exhaustion goes, you know?
I mean, what I will also add too is like it might have changed a little bit because recent chapters of One Piece and bullshit, but basically like these niggas still get hit by regular things. The only thing that changed between the like time skip is like now you just have to say it's a hockey XYZ thing. So like bullets don't work. Well, bullets never worked on Luffy, but it's like hockey bullets now mean something. Like, but when he traveled to whatever the Amazon place, like he was getting hit with hockey arrows and that shit was doing damage. So it does like allow a lot of Nen users to compete. Like now, like you're saying, like will they be able to keep up with the speed or nothing? Maybe not. But it does mean that like niggas can do damage. I think we might be saying like I think we might be adding too much to Luffy's durability, where I think that really hockey levels a playing field. And if we basically go along with like Nen can be the equivalent to hockey, then it kind of takes away a lot of the durability feats we might have given Luffy before.
Luffy be getting dragged, bro.
Yeah.
My man was fighting dogs
he's
for
still
like
pretty
10
durable.
chapters.
Like, even if it's with hockey, he's still pretty durable.
Oh yeah, I mean for sure, but I think he would be damn near invincible if Nen didn't work on him. Compared to
that's a fair argument.
But it allows like the top tier niggas to compete.
Yeah. So I mean, in summary, at least from my point of view, I think I'm on the same page with MGG. That I think I think Luffy's pretty much up there with like the top 10 characters of Hunter x Hunter. So as far as like the actual question, how would he do in the gauntlet? One, I definitely see him losing. If he's going like back-to-back fights with like all the Hunter tops, like there's no way he's taking out all of them, no chance. But I can see him getting maybe like 3-4 wins, and then he just like taps out because it's just too much.
To add some Gon context real quick, sorry to cut you off, because I just pulled it up on the Versus Wiki.
Okay.
I have to double check Luffy's, but this is what they're saying. So I don't know how you guys want to take it, but they're saying that his power at the full state when he went into rage mode was at least small town level, based off of what Neferpichu said. Speed wise, I'm assuming is also based off of the OP shit. Massively hypersonic is what they're saying when he was in his OP state. Striking strength, they're saying small town class level. So basically, at his max, Gon is like small town. In that thing, I have to compare against Luffy's thing, but I'm assuming Luffy's scale is still bigger.
I mean, if it's small town, that's not. I don't know. I mean, we could look up Luffy, sure, but like based on what you just described, that kind of sounds almost equivalent to at least how I picture Luffy. F around.
It just
I mean,
be
Luffy
like
fucked
them
up
shits
Dressrosa,
feel
right?
big though. Huh?
How big is Dressrosa? Because he
That's what
fucked
I'm
up
saying. That's
Dressrosa.
where I'm going from. So they're saying at least small city level plus likely mountain level for Luffy in base. This is post time skip. And then large mountain level with Gear 4. That's where they're putting his thing. So comparable. But and they're also giving him massively hypersonic plus. Possibly relativistic plus. I don't even know what that is. With Gear 4 as far as his speed. So he's faster according to
Relativistic means you're approaching the speed of light.
Oh, okay, wow. So they really
What?
think
They
this
gave
nigga
him
is that
fabulous
fast?
speed, really?
See, this is where I have an issue with versus wikis, bro. Actually, maybe I'm tweaking shit.
That's fast. Like I knew Luffy was fast. Like he was blinding fast. I get that with Gear Second, but like
Yeah.
light speed fast. That's
I
wow.
I think they're saying pushing Gear 4 to its limits because the way it's written, it says at least massively hypersonic plus, possibly relativistic plus with Gear 4. So,
That's
I think
interesting.
maybe base Gear 4 is probably massively hypersonic. When he starts like doing special shit with Gear 4, it probably starts getting to that relativistic, is my guess from what I'm reading. But either way, I think it proves he's faster, at least in Gear 4.
And well, I mean, if we use that as a basis,
Yeah,
then
that nigga's crazy, bro.
that's probably like the strongest actual like stats than most of the Hunter x Hunter world, to be honest. But
Yeah, now I kind of want to read Netero because I would say that's the best person to compare him to. If we see Netero stats, sorry to take the time to do this, but now I'm just curious. My curiosity has to be
Sated.
Yep. So they're giving him city level, or small town level for Netero, and speed is massively hypersonic. So even Netero's still kind of weaker than this nigga.
then if you put Meruem at like Meruem's probably like the same level as Netero, if not higher, maybe.
Yeah.
But in any case, then well, I mean, to be honest, like okay, so Luffy's still stronger than most of the verse, but I'm not gonna change my opinion as far as him still getting waxed eventually. Yeah, I mean, I still don't see it because I mean, obviously he can't keep up Gear 4 forever. So if they actually ran like a legit gauntlet, yeah, top 5 Hunter x Hunter characters, I think you're taking them out.
Yeah. All right. Well, that nigga's up there. Shit, I ain't know.
That is true though. I didn't think he had like that big in the stats.
Yeah, I didn't know Luffy's jump was that crazy. Post time skip, but yeah, this nigga. All right. Well, I don't know what to say.
So big ups. That's right.
Yeah. Shout out to Luffy. So I guess that answered it. I mean, I still put money on the stretch that might give them enough of an edge, but it really depends on who. So to me, I think if anybody has a chance at winning, it is it's the top tier cream of crop of the Hunter x Hunter characters. And basically if it's a versus gauntlet and we could have multiple Hunter x Hunter characters in a fight, then I think there's likely a stronger chance of the win going to more wins going to Hunter x Hunter. But if it's 1v1, then it's really all strat based on the person, which might give them a couple of dubs if we're talking 10 out of 10 fights. But I think it would lean towards Luffy in the end in most cases. If we're talking multiple Hunter x Hunter characters versus Luffy, it's going to skew towards Hunter x Hunter to me all day. So
Yeah.
That's why I say if it's as it seems like it's the verse, which means like
Yeah.
I'm assuming that niggas get to go in one after the other, whatever that may be. I do not see Luffy beating the entire verse, because like I said, at the end of the day, we have seen in the series a nigga could just make a wild ass Nin contract and be like, bro, I'll give my life to kill this nigga and just
yeah.
boom, blow that nigga up. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm
That's
like, Nin is too versatile for Luffy to win, and I don't think Luffy wins in any scenario against the entire verse.
Yeah.
But if niggas just were to lose all their consciousness and just fucking headbang this nigga like full strength, like yeah, then Luffy go run them niggas. So I'll give Luffy a 1 out of 10 for beating the whole verse. In the one scenario where everybody decides to just throw purest of hands with this nigga.
Um, that's
Cause I already told y'all my strat. Hey, make that nigga join the Phantom Troop. Have my nigga Karabika dig him a ditch, bro.
damn. I mean,
Yeah.
F around, even with what we're hearing about the stats, you still think that's enough for Kurapika to beat him 1v1? That's it?
Easy. As long as he a member of the troop, he put that thing on his heart. Boom, put that thing on his heart. And then just like have him have some arbitrary question and kill that nigga. Luffy still need a heart. Like, because Karapika powers don't really matter about how strong you are. He got one rule. I can only use these against Phantom Troop members. All right, put that chain on that nigga heart as soon as he a troop member. What's up, bro? You're dead, Luffy. No matter how fast you are.
Damn, I don't
Dig
know.
a ditch for that nigga. Doop, put him in the ditch.
Like I said, I'm just dropping off I said Kurapika, Killua's sister, bro. I'm just
Right.
gonna be like, yo, somebody asked for some crazy ass shit. You about to drop this bitch off in a second, bro. That's it.
That I can
Hey,
see.
Luffy, I'm gonna need your arm, buddy. I'm gonna need
give
that
me
whole
that.
arm up off you. Yo, what's up? HxH here. I'm guessing you love anime. Well, we already know you love anime, but where are you getting your anime fix? Where are you watching Ask the Master's Demon Power in Black Clover? Or Ogun turning it up to 11 in Fire Force? Well, you better be watching it on Funimation. If you're looking to rewatch something old or start something new, Funimation has got you covered with hundreds of anime from shonen to shoujo. Y'all remember those days having to scour the interwebs to watch your favorite shows or waiting years to finally see the show you've been watching get dubbed? If you're a dub watcher or you've mastered your Sharingan and watched the subs, Funimation has got you covered. They have episodes available the same day they air in Japan and the dub versions within 2 weeks. No more 720p episodes of your favorite anime in like 20 parts. If all that wasn't enough, with the Funimation subscription, you also gain access to members-only content and shop exclusives, meaning you can finally reach the peak of your fandom power. On top of that, you get a 2-week free trial to get started. So why are you still listening to me? Go to Funimation.com/subscribe now, or click the link in the show notes and start streaming your favorite anime ad-free today. All right. So with that, let us go to the next thing, which will be let's talk about Golden Wind. Let's see, man. Player 5 has some shit to say before we started recording about how he feels about Golden Wind, so we might as well just touch on it here
All
since
ears,
I
okay.
just finished as well.
Okay, so if nobody knows, I'm not a fan of the JoJo's. I seen the first 2 seasons. I decided to drop it. I got a friend that said that this was his favorite anime. After a bunch of shit talking, which y'all know I'm good for, he was like, yo, watch it. All right, I'm watching the 5th season. I did skip the 3rd and 4th, I'll mind you. Just went straight to the 5th season because apparently it's the best. Start watching it, and I'm like, yo, it's in the same category as Dragon Ball Super and Black Clover. Is fire trash, nigga. Like that's it. It's not. And a lot of this is because people was hyping. People hyped it up. They hyped up the strats. They hyped up all this stuff. And let me be the first to say, there are no strats in this show. This show is MacGyver bullshit, bro. Let's be fair. If
There's
you're
definitely
calling
strats. Wow.
JoJo strats,
What?
then MacGyver is strats. Like them niggas, they really
Wow.
they pull it out their ass. It's a 100%
Yes.
pulled out the ass. Ain't no backing to it. It's not a strat. A
Look.
writer was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna do this.
It's definitely a strat in how do you call it? It's like combat pragmatism. That's what it is. It's like they come up. I get you. So a lot of the stuff, the problem where I will feel the ass pull, and you would notice this if you watch like the third season too, is when it comes to the writer writing himself into holes, which is whenever he deals with time related shit or like some super broken power. That is when like the strats become like ass pulls. But for most stuff, it's just more like I can see how you would say it's an ass pull in the context of the story, meaning like these 17-year-olds should not have like this level of knowledge. Like Giorno knows a little bit, like some of the stuff he's able to like finesse. I'm like, bro, you should have like 3 college degrees right now with the level of smarts that's in there. And then the fact that Fugo or whatever his name is like the smartest nigga in their group, but you don't really see him use any strats is also like another thing. But I think outside of that shit where he rises to a hole, I would argue that these are actual strats that they use.
Whoa.
it's
Okay,
just
so this
it's just hard to justify where they come from, and that's where it's the ass pull part.
and that's the thing though. We if we can't justify it, it's hard for me to accept it as a strat other than and not call it what it is, and that's a plot ass pull. Because let's be fair, if you couldn't look into the minds of the characters, then sure. But a lot of the anime is from their perspective. I can listen to this nigga thoughts. He is narrating what's happening. He don't know what the fuck is going on. But then the next scene, he just countered a nigga. And it'd be like, what, nigga?
That's Giorno. That's why I didn't like Giorno. Like, people love him because did you make it to the end of Golden Wind or you stopped?
Halfway through. I say I give that shit 15 episodes.
No, okay. So at the end, Giorno gets some broken power, and I think that's why everyone dick rides him so hard. But for me, as far as him, he's the dumbest JoJo that I've seen so far. I felt like the one in the part before him was decent. Even the guy I hate more than Giorno, fucking Jotaro in part 3, I think had actual like strats. But Giorno actually was like, it doesn't make sense how he knows what he knows, and he really feels like asshole. So that would be my caping for the JoJo's universe. I do feel like Giorno is not a good example of strats that come from somewhere, while the other ones are more strategic in their battles. His is very like, oh, this feels weird, and you're like, what? And that thing just happens to be what works out. You know what I'm saying? He like says these things, and the other people around him happen to be dumb, but it's like, wait, how the fuck did he know what that, like, he shouldn't know either.
Another thing about his power, and this is how I know it's not strategic, it's just bullshit, is because like, so the way they present his power is like, yo, this nigga can turn shit into like living things, but these living things act normally. And there's like, sometimes they just straight up act in his favor. They don't act normally. They 100% like this nigga Aquaman. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's real controlling these animals.
That's as pull of the logic, but I think most cases, what I've seen him do from the series is that the animals just return to their owner. He uses that trick a lot to figure out
where
like if he where niggas is at. Like, that's where I've mostly seen.
See, that wasn't fair. That's okay. I'm okay with that. But like when he did, like, for example, when he caught the shadow nigga and like had like the trees do some shit, and then like there was another time, when that nigga turned the gun into a banana, had nigga blow his shit out. Like, sure, that seemed cool, but at the same time, like, that was all luck. A motherfucker.
No, I wouldn't even say that was luck though, because I'm like, nobody squeezes. I thought that was total bullshit, because I'm like, nobody squeezes a banana.
Yeah,
like
one, niggas don't do that, and then two, how do you know he's gonna eat that banana?
I mean, but that's the JoJo part of it. That part is the JoJo part.
Hear me out. If niggas were to come at me and be like, yo, JoJo's is Bobo, but they take themselves a little bit seriously, I'll be like, okay, that's fair. But my only issue is when niggas come through talking about this the GOAT, this the best anime ever. I'm like, oh, y'all got me fucked up.
Bro, JoJo's is definitely hyped a lot. Like, people really fuck with it. And I think that it's up there. I'm not going to overhype it, but it's definitely a quality anime, I would say. My thing is, when you get to part 5, the problem with skipping around with JoJo's, like I said, I will argue anybody, you're probably okay to skip the first season because it really doesn't have much to do with anything. But if you really want to understand how the story's told, you got to watch part 2, because that's when they start pulling out the strats. And part 3 pretty much sets the stage for all the other parts, because that's when
Right.
stands get
The
introduced,
stands.
and that's when you start to get a feel for like how the fights go and all that stuff. So when you hop into part 5, you have none of that other context. You just are like, oh, these niggas with these interesting ass powers are doing like really weird shit. Like I feel like yes, you would interpret it as a bunch of ass pulls, but when you like go back, you see that like a lot of it is
Assholes.
It's on the fly.
no, it's just on the fly thing. Like that's what they do. Like literally all the stand users they deal with think like that. They just think on the fly. They have broken ass powers and they figure out how to do shit. And pretty much anybody they fight, all it is like how does this work? How does this work? Like if you watch Baki, even if you watch Hunter x Hunter, it's the same concept to those fights. It's just for you.
See-
Maybe it feels more ass bully because they bring out way more knowledge than it feels like they should actually know. But it's the same structure of fight. The
It's-
one up,
it's-
one up, one up.
I believe that it is framed in the same way, but to compare Hunter x Hunter strats to JoJo strats, I think it is just completely
No,
disrespectful to Hunter x Hunter.
I'm not comparing the stress. What I'm saying is it is structured the same way. So literally the outline of the fights are exactly the same between Baki, Hunter x Hunter, and JoJo's. It's
Yeah.
I start off with one character, it looks like that person is gonna win. But no, I found out a counter strategy to their strategy. Then I found out another counter strategy to that strategy. So it keeps the reader or watcher guessing back and forth between who actually is going to win this chess match, so to speak. And then at the end, you figure out who won. So that's how JoJo's is told. It's just the difference with it is the quirkiness of the characters and the whole stand ability part of it, where these stands get super broken. And the thing is, if you think about it from the fact that this guy has been writing the stands probably when he wrote part 5, it was based on like the 2000s. But when he wrote part 3, where stands were introduced, this was based on like the 80s. So I don't know if he was writing for 3 decades, but he's probably been writing for maybe like a decade up to this point. He ran out of fucking ideas. Like if you see the creativeness of the stands, like at first in part 3 it starts with like, oh, my stand just shoots fire. Oh, my stand can just move really fast. And then by the end of part 3, they're fighting Dio stand basically stops time for 5 seconds. Whatever 5 seconds fucking means. So JoJo in that season has to find out a way to overcome a person who stops time for 5 fucking seconds, which is where the first level of ass pull comes out. This is where I think the show starts to deteriorate. And then like in the 4th season, it's like they get away from the time thing, but this guy has some other like bomb weird technique. It's just that it's the battle scale. So it starts off with something real simple that might make sense on how they beat it, but then he keeps adding more and more complex powers. So he still has to find a way for the users to beat it, but I don't see it as any different than how Shonen Pro Tags beat things that I feel like doesn't make any sense. To me, I at least appreciate the fact that he puts words behind how the win happens. I still don't agree with where it comes from.
And that's my biggest issue is that like niggas put respect on that. And I would say I've watched effectively 2.5 seasons of JoJo, and I got respect for it as an anime. We can say we can call it fun. We can say they got cool ass pulls, but the moment niggas start calling it strategy is where I start to feel a little itch on the inside. Because to me, it's not a strategy if there is no thought behind it. And they don't explain the thought behind it. Like, for example, let's take Hisoka in his fights. When he uses his gum shit, if he didn't explain everything that happened, it would look the exact same as a JoJo's ass pull. Okay,
but
except
how do they not explain it? I guess that's the part.
Okay,
because
they don't.
They always explain it.
No. They explain what is happening, but they don't explain how this is logical, how they got to that reasoning, right? You know what I'm saying? And sometimes they don't even explain how they pulled it off.
So let's take the shadow thing that you were talking about, for example. So how they beat the shadow guy was they tricked him into going into the shadow of a tree, and then they deconstructed that tree, and then he was exposed to the light, correct? I think that's how I remember them beating him. So what was the like part that
okay, so here's the thing.
Didn't make sense or wasn't logical?
In that one, that nigga added a new ability to his power. Because he was like, yo, my power increases the life essence of things. But what I did was I over life essence this thing until it just started to decay and age. Okay.
But what was wrong with that? That was basically what he was going to do to Bujarati in the episode before that, right? When he met
No,
him.
he absolutely not. Because what he did to him, he was like, I don't know what my power gonna do. I'm gonna put it in you. And then when he put it in this nigga, he was like, oh, it didn't decay that nigga. It just made that nigga like think really fast. Like
No,
at
yeah,
no point did his
it
power ever
accelerated
decay
his
somebody.
mind. No, but my thing is like it didn't deteriorate his body, but it did accelerate his mind in the same way because his mind basically started evolving faster than his body was. That's the way I
Okay.
interpreted it. That so I could
But
see
in
it
no
being the
point did anybody ever accelerate to a death. In fact, people have only positively moved up, except for this one time they needed an ass pull because based on the way his power has been working, why should it accelerate a nigga to death?
But
And if he can do that, why can't he
that
do that to a person?
but the thing he accelerated to death was an inanimate object that he turned into a tree
A tree.
or a tree.
It was a tree. A real living tree. He accelerated the life of this tree, which trees can live for thousands of years. If untampered with, he accelerated it hundreds of thousands of years to his death.
Okay, I can give you that is an ass pull. Based off
Yeah,
of what
and
you
I
explained
mean,
to me, I can give you that part of accelerating the tree's life feels like an ass pull. In my mind, I still feel like it probably could be explained if we pieced a couple of other pieces together. But right now, I don't have those pieces, so I can get that to you.
sure. And then when they did that shit with the boat, that was goofy.
What you
That
mean,
was
the
just
guy,
that was just that was
the
goofy.
second boat on top of a
Yeah, that
boat?
was fucking stupid. like I was like, come
That
on,
was
bro.
definitely some tricky dick shit, I would say. But I mean, hey,
Well,
bro,
here's my
that
thing.
I'm telling you, that's the bizarreness of JoJo's.
Okay, but this is my
That's where the
issue with
bizarre
y'all
comes from.
JoJo's fans, right? Is y'all will be like, bro, JoJo's got strats, and I'm like, actually, no, I don't believe they have strats. They just have bizarre, interesting things that happen, and this is why it's bizarre and interesting and not a strategy. And then y'all be like, okay, that's fair, but these niggas got strats. I'm like, no, they don't. They just got a bunch of interesting shit that keep happening.
So
It's literally like watching Bobo, except they take themselves serious.
I don't know, bro. I still am disagreeing that everyone in JoJo's is doing a bunch of ass pulls. I don't agree with that. I do agree that like you could probably make that argument with a lot of things from season 5 because, like I said, Giorno of all the JoJo's I hate, but 2
Mhm.
also I think he was the JoJo that made the least amount of sense. So if you watch part 2, this guy like there's no stands there. He's just basically using strats to beat the original vampires or whatever.
And
So
I
he
agree.
learns techniques and do shit like that. And to me, when I watched that, I felt like he was using strats there. I don't feel like a lot of that was like ass pulls or luck.
Yeah.
And if it was luck, they did a good job of explaining it. Meaning like when I don't know if you watched that season, but when Caesar fought Wham in that dark room, when
Mhm.
basically Caesar was about to win that shit, they were like, "Hey," the author came in and said, "Hey, the reason why this nigga was definitely gonna win this shit, but the reason why is because he did it like half a second too early or some shit, or the sun didn't come out just in time, so he ended up, taking an L." So
Yeah.
I feel like they explained it well there. Part 3, other reason why I have an issue with that JoJo's is because it felt like an ass pull when he fought Dio in that season. Because when he fought the guy who pauses time for 5 seconds, the author's solution to that problem was he can also stop time for 5 seconds. So they ended up overlapping their time stopping thing in order for him to get a dub. He basically was like, "Oh, your time stop is about to stop in like 5 seconds, so I'm gonna stop time. So now I'm in control." It basically was a whole thing that, and the fact that he had that ability to me
Yeah.
was like an ass pull.
So
So I
I
feel that
got
way
okay.
about part 5.
Okay. I was gonna say I seen the first two, and I will say that I feel like they had strats moving up, but this is the strategy that the Arthur uses, and I feel like it'd be tricking niggas, except niggas that ain't going. Is that like he'll have some strategy, some legitimate strategy, especially in the beginning one, all right? But then he'll surround that with bullshit, and it only gets worse and worse as these seasons go on. As we can see, to me, season 5 had a extreme lack of strategy and just a lot of ass pulls. But what we doing is no, we know that they got strategy from the old seasons, and we can rely on that to say that, these niggas must have been thinking it through. And to me, I think that's some bullshit. Like,
So you would argue that they were still ass pulling with everyone but Giorno, because I could see how you would say that for Giorno, but I don't see the ass pull, so to speak, for like Mista. Because I'm sure if you watch half the season, you saw at least the Mista fight. Even what's his face, Tiny. What's dude's name? The guy who has the Aerosmith, but the little boy. I don't know if you saw him fight the guy in the car on the street with his airplane.
Yeah.
That battle, to me, I felt like all of that made sense. So
Yeah. So I mean, I would have to
there.
definitely look into it more if I want to give you a huge analysis on like each individual fight and how they was bullshitting. Because after a while, I was just like, okay, these niggas gonna bullshit. Let me just keep watching. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that from watching JoJo's 1 and 2 and skipping straight to 5, there's a huge difference in explanation and reasonable how niggas are reasonably beating people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I get that we could say that they started with strats and had some goofy shit here and then, but now it's more like it's more goofy shit and a few strats. And niggas are accepting that as strats. And I'm like, nah, bro, that's like saying Bugs Bunny pulling out a pistol out of his ass is a strat. Like, that's not a strat. He just did some goofy shit.
So to your point, I think one, like to address the earlier point about why people like JoJo's, I think the key is like even though they're overhyping it and the strats thing that you have an issue with, really what I think the core reason is why people like it is that the author is extremely creative in the battles. The ability to come up with what he comes up with, even though you might feel like it's ass pulls, I think it's still something that is very hard for anyone to write, period.
Fair.
Especially to have wrote that for that many series. So I'm putting respect on his name for being able to accomplish that. The
I
other part
agree, and I put respect on that man. My attack on JoJo's is more for the fan base. As far as the anime itself, I would recommend it to niggas. I would say it's fun. It's definitely a fun anime. But where niggas goat it, and if you're not goating it, this does not go out to you. This goes out to the niggas that's goating it. If you goating it, I don't know about that one. I can't goat this anime.
So to your second point about Giorno, which I felt like mostly what happened there is like, and this is why I say it's key to watch part 3, is that the problem with the JoJo's characters is that up until Giorno's point, JoJo's characters are known to be special. The problem with Giorno and where I feel like it comes up in part 3 is that for the first time, or I guess second time because I felt like it came up in part 3, we get a JoJo that like we're just assumed to know that this nigga is broken, but we don't get any explanation as to why or how he's broken. So that's the Giorno part. Like if you watch the beginning, so you see like the first couple fights that this nigga had, he had no strats. Bujarati would have killed him in the very first fight that they had. The only reason why he didn't was because the nigga hesitated or whatever. And he said that at the end of the fight. And a lot of the stuff he went through in the beginning was just like he basically got lucky in terms of how he won. So towards the end of the show, why I think he deteriorates is that he becomes a character that magically has these strats now. Every villain is like, oh, you gotta watch out for that guy. He knows too much, blah, blah, blah. But we never saw how he became that from the beginning. Where when you watch part 2, from episode 1, you know this nigga has strats. Like you knew that was him, that was his character. So it didn't feel odd to you later on at the end when he pulls out some stuff to win at the end, right? Or when he technically didn't die, even though I feel like that was kind of asshole too with the whole volcano bullshit. So that's like where I think the deterioration goes. So people hype up Giorno because they've watched the other few seasons, so they just assume that he's hyped. But if you really pay attention to the story, like you're saying, we never got an explanation as to why he is able to do what he does, and a lot of the stuff is just like ass pulls. But what I've noticed about the JoJo fan base is they tend to be fans of the most ass pulley characters in JoJo's. Meaning, if you talk to them, their favorite 2 characters are going to be Jotaro, the guy who fucking stops time, or Giorno, the guy who basically got an ability that said fuck time, and that was it. Like at the end of the episode, he fights. I'm assuming you're not gonna watch to the end, right?
I am not.
So you don't care about spoilers, right?
No, you go ahead.
So the final villain, Diavolo, his actual ability is that he can erase like a couple seconds worth of time. So basically, he just is like he knows what happened in the next 5 seconds or something like that. So he can predict the future, but at the same time, he can make you forget that those 5 seconds happened. So he could just erase it from the time block and then just like do whatever the fuck he was doing. So in order to beat that power, they really didn't have a way to, but Giorno ends up getting stabbed by the arrow, and he gets a second ability. His stand basically levels up, and that stand basically stops him from using his ability. He tries to skip time, and his stand just comes up in his little time stopping space and is like, Giorno doesn't even know I can do this, but like you can't you can't use your ability. It's not gonna fucking work. And he just puts the nigga in like an infinite death loop and throws him into the water. So at the end of the day, it's a total ass pull ability that comes from nowhere. But the problem with it's not even the JoJo's fan base. It's like the core anime community is that we love to ride for like dope moments, even if those dope moments don't make sense. So like as far as the story goes, it was a dope moment. Sure, it's cool to see that his ability did that. But if you look at the perspective of the story, it makes absolutely no sense how the fuck that happened. Same thing with Jotaro using the fucking time stop ability. Sure, they can try and piece things together, but it absolutely is an ass pull, and we ride for it hard. Same thing with the Madara thing. Madara came out of fucking nowhere, didn't need to pop the fuck up, but people ride for it so hard because we love the dope moments. That's the thing. So I wouldn't even put it all on JoJo's fans. I will put it on the anime community because there's more examples than just JoJo's of niggas just riding for shit because it's dope, and that's why they're all hype about. I'm telling you, I watched season 5 all the way through the end. All the hype that people are goading season 5 for is literally coming from one episode at the end when he gets that special power, and it's not even that dope. He doesn't use it after that. He never showed inkling of it beforehand. He just uses it for like 5 seconds in one episode, and niggas are clouding it like it's the best season of JoJo's they've ever seen, and it's not.
Well, that's literally what the person who told me to watch it. Like, yo, bro, this is the best season of anime you ever gonna watch. I'm like, all right, nigga.
They just want you to get that, and that's what people do. I mean, I sell anime like that sometimes. Sometimes you just tell people stuff because you hope they're gonna stay long enough to get to that episode, and they gonna ride the hype wave like you riding it. And that's what I feel like. I feel like people recommend Demon Slayer, same thing. They saw that Zenitsu scene, and they was telling nigga, oh, start watching it. It's gonna be dope. It wasn't good up until then. If you fucked with that scene, you might have been like, this is the best show ever. Or you might have just been like, that's some dope animation, but this story still kind of sucks. That's what I feel. So, but to me, like I'm not gonna put it. I totally hear your argument about the ass pulls. I do feel like you're putting it too much on. I feel like you're putting it too much on the whole JoJo's when it might just be the JoJo's main character in season 5. But I won't say that Golden Wind was trash in my opinion. I just don't think it is as hyped as people say it was.
So I think my biggest issue is that, people been touting JoJo's for a minute. I seen the first 2 seasons, didn't like them. Motherfuckers like, oh, the stands go crazy. You gotta watch it. And then it was like, yo, 5 crazy. Watch 5. It was tough. It could be that I'm just missing out on the gold of 3 and 4. It could be that.
No, I think it's just not. The storytelling aspect of JoJo's is not what you like because you didn't even like Hunter x Hunter's like that. Like you fuck with it, you appreciate it, but I would say if you don't ride hard for like how the fights went down in Hunter x Hunter, or you don't fuck with Baki, or you didn't fuck with Keg and Ashura, you won't like JoJo's because that's really the meat of it is watching those strategic battles or ass-pull battles as you might want to call it. So,
well, I can put respect on it, and that's why I tell you I'll put respect on it to the end of the world, just like Hunter x Hunter. Like, I got respect for it. I can recommend a nigga watch it, but not for me.
Yeah, and I mean, I noticed that with a lot of JoJo's people, it's hit or miss for a lot of people because, like, same thing with One Piece. It's an acquired taste. Like, some people don't fuck with One Piece because they hate the artwork. That bizarreness of JoJo's in that storytelling, like, if it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. And then I also think some people watch the first season and just drop off because the first season isn't really that great, and they just go, I don't get it. But I'm like, you definitely gotta. I would say if you watch the second season, you appreciate it. That could keep you going forward. If you watch the second season and you hate it, then like it's not gonna get much better for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I would say. But I mean, like, to me, I've already kind of figured that I think niggas overhype JoJo's, but I also think the type of anime you're into is not typical of what the anime community hypes as the GOATs.
Well, yeah, that's about all I got to say on the topic, though.
All right, on to Yusuke versus Ichigo, the delinquent street brawl.
I guess I could explain this one as I created the post. Basically, before Yusuke and Ichigo were superheroes, them niggas was really banging in the streets. Like Ichigo probably wasn't as much of a delinquent as Yusuke because that nigga Yusuke didn't even go to school like that. But they was both in the streets boxing niggas. So the question became who would win pre-powers just meeting each other in the streets. And things I want to point out, because a lot of people ain't want to point this out. Ichigo is definitely a high school student and Yusuke is a elementary student. Clearly we saw that with Kuwabara. That didn't mean too much for that nigga Yusuke. But who
Wait,
got
pause. Is that facts? Wait, how old was Yusuke when the show started?
Yeah, he was a middle schooler.
What?
He was a senior.
Damn.
Yeah.
I forgot that.
I know that, but
Let me
delinquent
fact
think
check,
that he's
'cause
the
I'm
next
pretty
generation.
sure.
That's crazy.
Let me make sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just wondering what y'all think. Who got the better hands?
I mean, from my memory, I would personally say Yusuke, but like with the age gap, I mean, I'm actually a little unsure of how to like think about it now a little bit. But as far as my original thinking go, I was just gonna say Yusuke because homie was like about that. How would you kind of say it? Like that kind of, basic stereotypical delinquent, always in fights, never about learning, like that kind of that kind of persona or stereotype or trope. Like that was the definition of Yusuke. Ichigo had it, but I didn't think as hard. Like, you know what I mean? Like Yusuke's biggest rival was Kuwabara with the pompadour, the basic kind of delinquent stereotype haircut. And like for that to be like his main like rival or like fighting buddy, however you want to put it, that's like, bro, like Yusuke was like about fights, like homie had delinquent fighting techniques from the jump period. You know what I mean? But Ichigo, it was always like, it's like he touched on it, but I didn't really feel that he was about it, if that makes sense, Like he still like did, basic kind of school stuff, even though it was only like an episode or two, okay. But Yusuke, I don't remember him ever like even mentioning like a class that he was really about, even like once. I mean, granted, it's been a while, but so I would definitely lean towards Yusuke hardcore. And now for the fact that he's actually was only in middle school when he was about that too. I mean, if we actually like age balanced it, then like I think it's definitely in Yusuke's favor 100%.
Yeah. Now to be fair, Ichigo, I'm looking at it. Yeah, Ichigo was in high school, but he's still only 1 year older. So it wasn't like he was like a senior in high school or nothing. But yeah, technically Yusuke was in middle school. But this is what I would say. I agree with everything people say. Like Yusuke really was in these streets. Like he had grown ass niggas running from him. You know what I'm saying? He was a hood nigga. He ain't never go to school. He was beating niggas up on a daily. But just because you the tough guy, don't mean that you always go win. I just want to put this respect that Ichigo was not out here looking to throw hands. He was quiet, walking the streets. Niggas used to bully him because his hair was orange, and he still was knocking niggas out. And that's why I'm just like, bro, I could see if they just walk in the streets, I could see Yusuke like, hey, look, strawberry, and catching them motherfucking hands. Because, like, he quiet, but let's not act like he wasn't giving niggas hands. 3v1, like, beating niggas up. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's a tough one. I'm going to have to give it 6 out of 10 Yusuke, but I got 4 for my boy Ichigo because he ain't sleep.
So, my issue with the whole thing, the context that I put it in was one, I don't remember this from the very beginning or not, but I'm gonna assume that this is true. I'm assuming that Ichigo actually has some super strength, based off of his lineage. So I think a lot of people, when this was posted, was like Ichigo all day because they were giving him that strength thing, which would basically allow him to beat Yusuke. But in my mind, I took that away and was just saying, like, if they were just regular delinquents, like in a delinquent manga, which school is taking the dub? And in that case, I would say Yusuke because he basically like, and I'm not a delinquent manga expert, but I am a fan of the series. So basically, the way Yusuke is propped up, if we take away like the shonen supernatural shit that got added, he's the next generation to lead a high school gang, basically. So the way they tell delinquent stories is like the middle schooler nigga that was winning. Like once he goes to high school the next year, like he's taking over, bro. It's just he got his crew. he's starting to move on niggas, like whatever. So Yusuke had that clout early. And he had already, I think, taken out multiple schools. Like niggas from other schools came to fight his ass, and they were consistently dropped. So he already had high schooler clout as a middle schooler. So to me, as far as like what that nigga did, if we take away the strength, I don't know if Ichigo would be able to do the same thing. He basically had Yusuke level clout, but I also feel like it was because the whole supernatural super strength thing / his dad was also secretly training him in his own way while he was growing up. If y'all remember that little tidbit they added. So I say if we take away the supernatural aspect of Ichigo, I would say Yusuke is probably like a 9 out of 10 for me. I would say it's very one-sided. If we add the super strength, then it's gonna go one-sided in the other direction, meaning that obviously Ichigo would win probably 10 out of 10 because the nigga has super strength. So
I'm just gonna piggyback on that with one little thing from a nigga that is also not a master of delinquent anime, but I do peruse. There is always that one nigga at the delinquent school, the quiet nigga. How you wondering why is he there? Bro, that's Ichigo, bro. He that quiet nigga that's like, bro, we don't know why Kurosaki even here, and he just go wild out, almost kill a nigga on some crazy.
Yeah. They do. They have that 6 Power Ranger nigga that doesn't associate himself with no gang, and he just shows up when he wants to show up. And usually the main guy in there is like his main rival or whatever, all the way up to like the niggas graduate. So I mean, I could totally see how you would say that based off it. But Ichigo also did have a crew low key, so that would be my only counter to it. He wasn't totally solo dolo.
All right, and then the last thing, because I'm looking at the Wikia right here. This one sentence in the Wikia proves that Yusuke definitely winning. It's like Yusuke is a teenage delinquent / street fighter with little to no positive qualities to his game.
Yeah,
bro, that's how that nigga start the series off as a thug.
And that's how I fucked with Togashi. He kind of kept it within the delinquent manga like genre in a way with the way he decided to end it off, because he still ended it off like with Yusuke saying like, look nigga, there's no hope for me, that's why I kind of joined the spirit world, but Kuwabara, your ass could go ahead and get an education. Like that's some typical delinquent manga shit right there. Like the main nigga don't do shit, bro. Like they have to find a way to make it a happy ending without letting you know that this nigga is not gonna be shit with the rest of his life, bro. So they either kill that nigga off or like, find a way for him to go find some shit somewhere else. Like he moves.
A new nigga ass to whoop.
Right.
That's crazy, bro. That it's so crazy now that I'm stopping to think about it. He literally got his powers because God was like, whoa, you sacrifice your life for a kid, nigga?
That's a fact.
Yeah,
crazy. Even I ain't see that shit coming.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, all right. I think before we go into the Hokage, any closing points on the verses? Or are we good?
No.
Good.
All right. So before we go into the Hokage thing, I think we can talk about this Promised Neverland shit, because I mean, I seen Player 5 going around the social webs telling people to go watch this shit. Putting people on some badness, bro. Trolling the fuck out of niggas. So I guess we gotta just touch base on it. For those who don't know, because you're only listening to us on Spotify or some other podcast streaming app, we do have a YouTube channel, and we did do a full review of the Promised Neverland manga, which is now completed, where we unpack all these thoughts. So if you want to hear like the full hour-long version, you could go ahead and watch that. But just to give you niggas a taste that I know are hopping onto the boat, and instead of clicking that erase thumbnail or the Great Pretender thumbnail, you said, let me give Promised Neverland a shot. We're going to give you a little taste of what you might expect down the road. So I think the question Player 5 asked specifically was, you can go ahead and say it.
Basically, I'm just saying, overall, when we look back at the manga, was the story as bad as we remember, and do we think the anime can pull it out of the trash can? Because obviously the anime adds new aspects, music, lighting, camera, you know what I'm saying? Like shit that can change up the feel of it. Can the anime, which honestly did a phenomenal job of like camera, music, all that shit, can it pull it out of the garbage can?
To your first question, is the what was the first question again?
Was the manga as bad as we remember?
Okay, was the manga as bad as we remember? Yes. Yes. And like Oh, yes, again. So that I'll leave it at that and I'll come back to it later. The second question was, do we think that the niggas could save it? So what I will say is no, because the thing is the first season sets up that dark survival undertone, which they could continue, but the thing is that the story drastically the core story drastically changes from that survival horror thing. And that's the part where I still feel like it's going to be tough for them to keep the same ambiance that they're building in the first season, because once they go to the second season, probably should cover Goldie Pond. But once they get past this Goldie Pond arc, which will probably be the last arc of hopelessness we might feel for these characters, it just becomes
Shonen.
yeah, more shonen-y. Like, sure, they can add the darkness, but the kids always win at the end. Like, unless they're gonna overhype the deaths of the niggas that we never met when those niggas die. Um,
Filler
spoiler
emoji.
alert. But when they actually do that, unless they're gonna overhype those, I don't see how they're gonna be able to turn it around without changing the core story. Meaning, like, going in totally different directions, and
No,
changing up how certain things are executed.
I just want to say this one thing. I'm gonna say it now before it become a hype and a meme. There's only one thing I want to see out of anime, and this past, the point to where it's like already bad is where old girl, that little girl, up both of them blicks, and she just started, just like start going hard, bro. I want to see that animated with the stankiest face. She just emptied the clip on that fucking demon, bro. I gotta see that.
Wow.
That's all I want to see. After that, they put it to bed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like I said, I think
Oh.
this is gonna be. There'll definitely be a season 3 off of this season 2. They can still sell it in the right way. It's just after this season 3, season 4, I think it's gonna be just like Baki, how we appreciated season 3, just like a change of pace. What the fuck is going on? Not as good as it used to be for the fans. They might get to the end, but hey, I'm just telling y'all now, like, don't get your hearts too invested in that shit, bro.
Yeah, I
Telling y'all
would.
now.
I mean, I'm pretty much ditto with MGG. And to be honest, it sounds like even he's kind of hopeful for season 2, but I kind of see that shift happening like mid season 2. Like I honestly don't think that people are gonna get the same vibe from season 2 as season 1, because season 1 was good because of one, the horror, two, the mystery, and three, the actual, like, I guess you could argue strats that came across
Yeah,
trying to
they might
get
be
through.
assholes now.
Right. So as as soon as as soon as they leave, I mean, again, this is all like, spoiler territory, but as soon as they leave the orphanage, it just becomes completely different. Like, you're not gonna get those vibes. You're gonna, I don't even know like the best way to really describe it, but it's gonna be different. And depending on what kind of, if the audience actually enjoyed season 1 for those exact aspects that I mentioned before, that same crowd is not going to be about season 2. The question is whether they're going to build a big enough crowd that's about those new aspects that season 2 is going to introduce. If they are not going to be able to accomplish that feat, then it's going to fall off, and I would doubt that season 3 is going to happen at all. So it kind of depends on how fast they really move along season 2. But if like my projection is right, and like season 2 is pretty much gonna be either the end of Goldie Pond, which I'm pretty sure they could make happen, or like the intro to Goldie Pond, then it's pretty much gonna change hardcore. Like, long story short, I don't have any positive hope for it, to be honest. Um, I mean, like I said, though, the good things that they could do with the anime is that because those aspects are going to be different and more action based, they could definitely like show off those aspects better in an anime. So I mean, again, it's just going to depend on whether the people are really about like the new shonen, topics that the series is going to be bringing up. But if not, then it's just going to be GG, become something generic. So
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, do you have thoughts on Player Fire? Or you just wanted to get ours?
No, I ain't want to speak too much more on it because, like you said, there's a whole hour-long episode where that's talked about in detail. Go hit that up. Like I said, I'm not gonna not recommend the first season to people because the first season is some of the best anime you're gonna watch. But I tell everybody, just because player, or my bad, not player. If GG was flaming me, say I be putting people on, but he ain't point out how I always say, hey, but after season 1, if you continue to watch, that's on you.
Right.
I didn't catch that in any of the posts or comments.
Wow.
I'm just saying I did read that part. If you said it, hey, you said it. I'll take you for your word. But like I said, hey, bro. Like he said, I'll reiterate it. If you watch season 1 of Promised Neverland, you like, I want to continue at your own risk. But know that the AfrOtakus told you we did the hard work for you. We did the sleepless nights, the horrible chapters, the shonen talk no jutsu bullshit. We read all that shit for you to save your time and help you focus on better anime like Erased or fucking The Great Pretender or fucking whatever the fuck else popped up on your Netflix feed as far as anime. We're allowing, or you can fucking catch up with One Piece. Only God knows. We're giving you time to not waste on this. That's all I'm trying to say, bro. We giving you. We know everybody got these long anime lists. We doing the hard work for you.
And I'm just gonna give somebody, because there's still somebody even after hearing this, you on the fence. I just want to say to you that I haven't been hurt like this since Bleach. I haven't been hurt like this since Bleach, bro. If that make you realize, I haven't been hurt like this since Bleach. Put it down, my brother. Just enjoy that first season for what it is. Anime gold, and just stop.
That's what I was saying. Like, if you watch the first season, pretend it ended once they figure out the shit in the first season.
Right?
Because it's a perfect way to end the
place
first
end.
season. It can be a total one season anime in your mind. Let it end there, and you can go around and hype it up as the best thing ever. Just make sure you add an asterisk. I only watched the first season. That's all. That'll keep me from flaming you in the comments. Okay. So on to manga highlights. First up, put some respect on. So I just have a few things to put some respect on this month. So far, God of High School has been giving me life. I'm enjoying watching these episodes, even though I heard that the pacing is total trash. But the niggas got hands, bro, and I'm sticking with it. So God of High School, stay with it. I did finally catch up to part 5 of JoJo's. I thought it was decent. You already heard our earlier conversation. So maybe it wasn't as decent as I thought, but I will say, as far as the characters outside of Giorno, because if you heard the earlier discussion, I'm not a big fan of Giorno. I did really appreciate the gang aspect and the storyline that they were going with. I really felt for the characters. I was super interested in their backstories. I thought they did a really good job storytelling the gang crew in this season, as opposed to others where probably only know maybe about 2 or 3 of the main cast that you really fuck with. So I fucked with that. Today I just finished Erased. It's been on my list because I read Tokyo Revengers and Player 5 was like, that's Erased. I was like, oh, I guess I gotta watch this shit now. So I watched it. I definitely recommend it as one of those like throwbacks. If you haven't watched it yet, I'll probably end up doing like a late start review on this. Shit, I might do a late start review on Golden Wind too. We'll see.
I'd be willing to hop into that Erase one.
All right. You're not gonna hop into the Golden Wind? No,
I'll hop in the Golden one, but I think that means I gotta finish it.
Yeah, you have to
give me like another week or two, I guess.
All right. But yeah, so those were giving me life, and then obviously, Chainsaw Man. If you haven't been reading this, y'all need to catch up. This shit is crazy. You're in for a wild ride. But these last couple chapters have been like, what the fuck, crazy, but hella interesting at the same time. So that's me for put some respect on.
I'm gonna double down on putting some respect on Erase. This is now maybe like my 3rd time rewatching it. And the best part is they have it in live action. The live action is more closer to the book. It's a graphic novel. There's more closer to the graphic novel. I've read the graphic novel, watched the anime now. So like, I love Erase. I just think it's phenomenal. Put some respect on K-On! I'm late to that. I know ain't nobody here probably watching it because it's slice of life. But hey, bro, after school tea time, bro. I'm here for you, bro. Shit, yeah, that's respect. I'm gonna say go ahead. No, that's not part. I'll talk about that a little later. But yeah.
All right.
The only big since we recently did the whole chapter, so I don't need to go into the main shonen, but I gotta put some more big ups on Magic and Muscles, Mashley, just because of just the redonkulousness that it's still continually to put out. I mean,
my God,
this manga is just straight funny, y'all. All right,
Yeah.
like if you just want to read something super light, there's like no reason to look into the plot or story at all, but you just want to laugh every chapter. I mean, this will give it to you. It's just good stuff. I mean,
And
this
don't
last
sleep,
chapter,
they
you got
caught
the MC just eating. Well, what is his favorite food? Like a cream puff. Just say, get nutrition, get a nutrition. Like what? Like, rolling along in this main dungeon, eating some cream puffs and just singing the song. Like I'm sorry, but I mean, this stuff is hilarious.
Don't
So
sleep though. It definitely caught a light plot. So I gotta put some respect on their name for that too. It's like it started off funny One Punch Man style, but they are keeping some sort of a storyline. And I would
I
say
mean,
more so than One Punch Man. If we want to compare the two, I feel like I stick more to Mash's plot than I have One Punch Man.
and word.
I think so. I wouldn't say that about Mob Psycho 100, but I would say that about One Punch Man, because One Punch Man, the plot is literally there. I feel like just to string, like the build up to Saitama punching the big bad. So they have to like do all this shit just so you can see Saitama punch that nigga at the end. Mash, I don't know if it's necessarily doing that with the fights. I think the side characters they had,
but he's not OP
right?
really yet.
And the side characters they had decent fights in this arc too. So I was actually like paying attention to some of what they did. Did I read the pages super in depth? No, but I thought their magic was decent.
Well, in any case, I'm just pretty much here for the comedy of the MC, to be real. But I mean, still, that's enough for me. So I'm still recommending it. I mean, it's a funny effing manga. So
yeah, I mean, if you're ready, I think we're at 20 now. So I think you guys might also want to look out for a should you read on that one too. I was waiting for it to build up on chapters, but I think it's at the point where we can talk about it. So,
no doubt.
Other manga highlights I just wanted to point out, if we're there yet. I don't know if anybody got respect.
I think we're good.
Okay. Just from like the flagship manga out right now, which I would consider, like, for me at least, like Black Clover, My Hero, and Attack on Titan, all kind of coming with some heat right now. Black Clover, the Spade Nation going hard. Yami and what you call it might get snatched or killed even. Apparently they about to make Asta the strongest. Finally took a fucking L in his life and he don't like that shit. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? My boy Deku unlocked a new quirk. He about to steal on my boy Shigaraki. Shigaraki going hard. Giganto Maki are going crazy. Aaron about to destroy the world. What you mean? Like, I'm like, bro, the flagship manga right now kind of going hard.
Yeah, I mean, even One Piece is doing good too. The only thing I would say is that, I mean, from the anime community fanboy perspective, my personal hypest of the three is probably like Black Clover. I still have to catch up on Attack on Titan. It's just a lot of reading. Like if you miss a few chapters and a lot of like exposition with what's going on with Aaron right now. So I have to catch up on that. So that might be number 2. I'm still reading Kingdom, but they just finished a big arc. So that shit is slow right now. But yeah, Black Clover is at the top right now. I think most people will probably say My Hero Academia because more people read it and the hype off the anime. But story-wise, I'm thinking Black Clover has got me wanting to read every chapter. My Hero, because of all this Deku focus and kind of like the fact that none of the powers I see that they've set up next are particularly interesting to me, I haven't been as like interested.
Besides with Black Clover, I want to throw this little theory out before anybody else hop on it. I think Noct is Yami's son. And the reason I say that is because one, the dude looks Asian. 2, Yami means dark and Noct means dark in German. Like they name literally mean the same thing. He don't like that nigga, bro. I don't know. I mean, go ahead.
What I will say is that it's funny because you missed the last chapter reviews, but I definitely brought up that there's some connection between the two of them. Mm-hmm. I didn't think son relation though. I just thought they were from the same country, maybe. But I mean,
so
go ahead with the son theory.
The thing that keeps me from thinking that they from the same nation is because Yami is like, that's Japanese, right? Yami Sukahiro is a Japanese name. Noct is German. So I'm like, if he was from the same country, I would think he would have a Japanese name. But I could see Yami being like, "Oh, I got here, had a kid with some chick, and you know what? In order to fit in or make sure he fit in here, I named him basically Yami, but in these, the white man's tongue."
Yeah. I think another thing to keep in mind though is that in the chapter, maybe like the original person was, but I think that he said something that inclined that he's not the original person in that body. Right? Didn't he say that in like the last chapter?
I know what you mean. I think that was, but to be honest, that's still up for interpretation because I think that could mean something significant with the whole using like a devil. I think that it's like maybe he had to like cross a plane where he no longer identifies himself as his previous person because that previous person was, quote unquote good or innocent, but now with devil power, he's super guilty, super dark. So he's someone all different together, which honestly could also play into the fact of his name Noct. It could be a name that he gave himself after becoming a devil. So low key, I think that would kind of support again why they're from the same country. But that's my low key theory. As far as the same person though, that can get a little debatable. I'm not really sure if it's more just like conscious wise of why he considers himself a different person, or if he's like somehow like a devil copy. I don't know. It's still kind of up in the air. But right now, I think it might be too far of a stretch to assume they're literally different people. That's my thought.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying before in the review, I just personally feel like I don't have confirmation. This may be an easily broke down theory, but I think there's something up with dark haired niggas in in Black Clover, bro. Everybody with some black hair like that, Yami, Noct. Only person that might be the exception right now is like the Heart Kingdom Queen, I believe. Because I don't know anyone else with like pure black hair. Oh, Jack could even be potentially
her hair
rolled
not
out
black.
Huh?
The Heart Queen hair not black.
I mean, I read the manga.
I
read the manga, so I don't know.
My bad.
They might have added some colors to that bitch in the anime. Who knows? But I was trying to look it up, but I didn't pull it up because her name is fucking weird to spell.
Her name's supposed to be Laura Pachica.
Yeah.
That name's stupid.
Real dumb.
Real dumb. Her hair is black. You're right.
See? So,
she just be wearing that head thing.
Exactly. She might be the one that breaks down the theory, but yeah, as far as the Clover Kingdom goes, I have a suspicion about black-haired niggas, bro. They just seem to be special.
You see what I'm saying, man? Look at all this self-hate. So what's wrong with the black hair, my brother?
Hey, bro. There's nothing wrong. They're all special, though, but I'm just saying, in terms of abilities, the black-haired niggas have been the most broken so far.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm gonna go through the roof when they finally introduce a black person into this show. I'm gonna flip, bro.
Oh, I'm be scared, bro. That ain't gonna be hard. If you see what we get dealing with right now, when the black motherfucker come through, especially if he like an important character, that nigga is going to be hard, bro. Like they're not ready.
Oh man, let me go ahead. I know we were supposed to say this in the anime section, but I just remember. I'm sorry, I gotta bring it back, bro. It's talking about black anime characters. If y'all have not been watching Fire Force, my God, them niggas cold. Them niggas cold, bro. I ain't seen niggas go this hard for black people since motherfucking Yodoichi, bro.
Yep. But I mean, you got to put respect on that guys in general, because the author of Fire Force is the author Soul Eater, and so far he's one of the ones that have put respect on black people in the past. Like Sid was decent. The guy we didn't get a lot of clout for in the anime, but he actually was apparently really dope in the manga. There's a black kid that was like a student. He actually had like these two
he had like twin iron gauntlets. I can't remember his name right now.
Yeah, I forgot his name too, but from what I remember reading or hearing about is like in the manga, he's actually dope. We just didn't get a lot of screen time in the anime because it cut short. There's a whole couple of arcs after that. So.
Keelik, that was his name. There it is. Yeah, like Keelik Wrong, I think that was his name. And Soul Eater.
Yeah. Well, my bad to cut you off. Sorry. Continue with your Ogun respect. I saw some clips online.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh no, that's it. Them niggas hard. That's it. Like, watch Fire Force. They hard as hell. That's it.
I thought you were gonna put some more respect on Ogun name, but all right, that's fine. Shout out to his name though, because that's technically my wife's home country in a way. So, home township, I think.
Okay.
So I guess he did some research. Is all I'm trying to say.
That's
Hey,
the shit.
respect.
He did a
I
couple of
mean,
Google.
fuck, like they literally said homie compares to like what, like the first squad's captain. Like
Yeah.
they literally put him on like close to captain level, like up from the jump. Like that's crazy. So legit.
Hey, bro, that's why I fucks with Fire Force. I got to catch up though. Season 2 was hard because that first episode was a drag, so I couldn't stomach it. It was
Yeah,
just
that
long.
first episode was filler as fuck.
Yeah, I was like, y'all waited till like the start of the new season to hit me with the filler. Y'all could have just done what was it Demon Slayer that did that? There was some anime that dropped when Fire Force dropped that basically had their last season with just fucking filler is what it felt like. The last few episodes.
Yeah, I also want to report that even though Black Clover's filler episodes are canon, they are still unapologetically gross fucking filler. Do not watch it. It's ass.
For
I've
what?
done the hard work for you. That shit regular filler, my nigga. Just ass.
What series?
Black Clover.
Black Clover.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
like they gave it
But
like
isn't that
how many
filler?
episodes? Like 5-6 episodes in between the actual like Spade Kingdom invasion.
I don't know how many it's supposed to be right now. They sitting at like 5 or 6. I think they make it more, but all I know is the creator gave it the go ahead, cleared it for being canon, and I
Damn.
thought they was gonna come with like some heat, some fights. Is basically filler arcs. Like,
Wow.
it's lame as fuck.
So I mean, I thought the filler arcs were just like recap episodes where they focus on a character, kind of. Like I remember the Gordon rewatching his interactions with Asta or some shit like that. That was like a filler. Have they changed that structure?
Well, you talking about like Gordon's like family? That wasn't filler.
No, not the Gordon's family. There was like a particular episode where like Gordon was reminiscing on his time with Asta, and it basically was filler to me. It was a clip episode, but Gordon was like the focus.
There are some episodes within the normal anime that are like filler and stuff, and that's fine or whatever. But right now they doing like a filler, like, you know, filling in between the time skip, the 6 months. And so it's like true, pure filler. And we get episodes like Charmy learning how to cook the ultimate meal, but then the meal come alive, and then they gotta fight the meal by eating it. And I was like, bro, this is lame. This is like it's like they hired the niggas that did the Naruto filler, bro. It was like, please, nigga, please come fuck our show up the same way.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna put this out there. Maybe it will become a bigger topic later or some other thing. But the best filler I've ever watched, even though I didn't like the way the series ended, was Hitman Reborn. They did filler well. Like when they put filler episodes in there, it actually added to the story. They explored characters that you wanted to learn about. I feel like if you want to get some nigga to write your filler well, get whoever the fuck did Hitman Reborn filler, because I actually didn't hate that filler at all.
Mm. Yeah, the way they doing it is like, so everybody is randomly lucking into runes and arrays, but then like it's like, okay, so if you can luck into this, what's the point of training to learn it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What do you mean?
So far,
like they're finding out spells, basically?
Yeah, Leo. Don't you know the big spiral move that Leo used?
Yeah.
Yeah, he lucked into that in like some random dungeon and was like, "Oh man, if I can figure out how to cast this spell at will, woo woo." And I was like, "Bro, first of all, that filler just shat on the whole lore of the world, because now you have a spell that you can't cast at will for some reason. And then two, nigga, Leo, you wasn't even in the Heart Kingdom, bro. How the fuck do you know about runes, nigga?"
He was though. I thought because he was that battle he had was in the Heart Kingdom.
No, I'm talking about before like the time skip.
Okay. Got you.
You know what I'm saying? Like my man's wasn't at the mission where they first see Gaja drop them lightning runes. So when Noelle does it a couple of episodes later, at least I can in my head be like, well, technically she's seen them.
That shit. Yeah.
Ooh, but this nigga Leo was just like, nigga, runes, bitch.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess if you stretch your mind, maybe you could say that like the Clover Kingdom should either A, already know, or B, eventually figure it out. Because I mean it's magic that anyone can use.
True.
But I still feel that it's an ass pool. But I feel like that's their cover strategy was, you know, the Clover Kingdom kind of had it. Like we gonna see Mary Leona pull it out randomly for no reason.
If she get runes, it's over, bro. Make her the new Wizard King.
Oh dang! No, you know Julius not going. You know Julius not going.
What if Julius came up to what's his name Fuegolion was like, hey bro, we need you to give up that lava spirit to Mara Leona, bro.
Wow.
It's for national security.
Oh wow. My thing is, I want to see what time magic looks like with the ability to add instructions. Like, I feel like Julius knows this shit, and if he could do that, one, it would piss me off more because, like we've said before on this podcast, this nigga definitely shouldn't have lost to Patry, and he was just doing it being a fucking dick. But if he turns out to have room magic, I'm gonna be like, yo, so you was playing with us even more because you would have definitely won that fight.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, anything else on manga?
Yeah.
Not that I can think of.
All right. I guess we can close it out with the MVPs and the Goofies. I will start with my MVP of the month being Bujarati from part 5 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. That nigga was just a real one, bro. I never felt the pain of loss like I felt watching him in any of the other JoJo seasons. I like the way he commanded his gang. I like the way he ran shit. He was just a cool dude. I mean, he had a little weirdness to his swag, but that's JoJo's for you. So
I'm gonna start rocking that same swag, bro. I'm coming through with the heart cut out. Nigga, like
the heart cut out in the chest.
Big drip, bro. I'm coming through. Heart cut out in the chest. Hella zippers on everything. They don't even zip shit up, bro. They just there.
But yeah, shout out to Sticky Fingers. I fucked with what they were able to do with him on Bujarati as a character. As far as Goofy goes, this one is gonna be a tough one to find because I partially I wouldn't give it particularly to Huey, but I kind of want to. Ooh, maybe I'll do this. I'm gonna give it to Mother's Milk from The Boys.
Wow.
And I know people are gonna feel a way about me saying this, but let me put it here because this has been an issue for me since season 1. When Mother's Milk decided, after we saw this man's wife and kid, that he was gonna give that up for them niggas, I was already like, bro, you a goofy. And then to sit here, because why it bothered me more was this episode 4, the specific scene where this nigga sits down with what's her face, the white Starlight, and she's crying about some past trauma she had. And in my mind, and Mother Milk is just sitting there hearing it and just being like, damn, that sucks, blah, 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 like really feeling her. And in my mind, I just go, nigga, you gave up your fucking family for some niggas that don't give a shit about you. They still think it's appropriate to talk to you about their fucking problems when your wife and kid, like, you can't see these niggas, bro. You cannot see them. And you might not ever be able to see them with the bullshit that's going on because this nigga wanted to drag you back in really for no reason. It's not like he's not useful, but at the same time, they don't really need him in the grand perspective of things. He just calms the group down. But I just go like, he's goofy for giving that up to me for some niggas that really didn't give a shit about him. Like the moment I'm like, these niggas don't give, I'm like, boy, I'm fucking going back to my family. I'm done. Fuck y'all.
They need that nigga because he got the van. That's his van. They need the nigga for the van, bro. Like, ain't nobody else got a whip that can carry everybody.
Oh man, they use a Mother's Milk, man. Fuck that. If I was him, I'm just giving him a goofy for that. He should have left way sooner. As soon as they pulled up, I had a happy life, happy wife. Nigga, I'm good, bro. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm done.
I gotta agree. At first I was kind of like, shocked, gas, but now you explained it, bro. Yeah, he really did choose. Like, he can't be mad at nobody, bro. You really did choose them. You knew what they was on. You knew what they was about.
And you knew where it was gonna take your ass, bro.
Exactly, bro. Fucking with that nigga Butcher, he about to get into some wild shit.
Right. His kid not even grown. That's the thing. Nobody would have fucked with him. He would have been good, like, for the rest of the whatever, as all this shit is going down. But now it's like, how you come shit at the end of the day, you might be putting these niggas at risk. They might fucking kill them. Crazy, bro. And these niggas still had audacity to whine about what the fuck they got going on. Huey don't got a family.
Ain't got shit.
Butcher got to see his wife, and basically Butcher did all this just so he could have sex with his wife one last time. We got that from that experience.
Yo, the craziest thing is he really be talking to his nigga like, bro, I gotta see my wife. Like, nigga, me too, nigga. What? I was waiting. I thought he was gonna steal on Butcher, but he never did.
That's what I'd be bothering me. I'm like, bro, like if that's not symbolism for a black man in America, I don't know what else is, bro. Like, if you put on all that and you're just listening to these niggas complain about their problems and just ignore the shit that you're going through. Frenchie, oh, she went through a lot with her brother. I'm just trying to figure out how to help her. The lamplighter shit. Them kids wasn't mine, but the trauma from watching them kids die. Well, his actual kids might die. His actual wife might fucking die. The fact that he can't see the motherfuckers every day. But no, don't worry about what Mother Milk got going on. Let's just complain about our problems. Fuck them.
Yeah. My MVP, we already highlighted him a little bit earlier, but I got to give it to Noct from Black Clover. Ever since he was been introduced a few chapters back, homie just seems like he got the sauce. Like, he's got all the answers. Homie comes in cool, talking to captains like, y'all need to shut the F up, listen to what I got to say, and then do what I say do if we trying to have a world after this. And homie's just ready for it. So definitely excited to see more of him. And he's coming in as a very legit character in Black Clover. And probably we got to see him actually bring out the smoke, but I'm ready for him to claim close to a top 5, maybe a top 7 character in the whole verse itself. So I'm ready to see that, low key.
You know something?
Yeah.
I mean, if you really think about it, homie's got to be up there. So
I'm gonna say something about this nigga Noct. I think, hear me out. I think he might turn on niggas, and I'm gonna say I have no in-story reasoning. My only reason is, once again, when I think of his name, when I think of Noct, I think of Crystal Noct, Knight of the Broken Glass, which is when all these Nazi niggas came and fucked up all these Jewish businesses. And I'm like, bro, I don't trust this nigga, because just like Lick, what happened with Lick? Turns out this nigga some crazy demon king nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, look, I don't know about this nigga Noct. He might betray us. I'm not sure. We gonna see.
I mean, okay. You know what? All right. I could see how. Okay. You know what? Let me just stop. I can see it. I can see it, to be real. I can see it. The only thing is that I'm curious more of, I guess, how he's gonna use them, because right now it just seems like he's being a complete assist. You know what I mean? I guess I'm more curious about what does he have to gain by banging with the Black Clover Kingdom?
What I would think is that potentially the 3 niggas, if I'm going along with this theory, the 3 niggas are not strong enough to beat all the demons in the chain. And basically by getting the Clover Kingdom's help, they could, those powers together will kind of basically he's getting the Clover Kingdom to do the hard work for them. Because I feel like maybe a part of the plan is you got to beat all those demons that get released at each tier of the tree. And basically, if the 3 strongest niggas are spending their time fighting these demons, maybe they won't have enough strength at the end to deal with the big baddie. You feel what I'm saying? So maybe if that's the way, that would be what I think he's using them for. Is basically so that they can fight all the demons for them. And then
I see.
They did it.
Low key, I'd be kind of disappointed with that, for the simple fact that they kind of played to that villain scheme aspect in the first season arc. I would kind of be disappointed with that, actually. Mm-hmm. So that's a little sad to think about F around. Damn, you just kind of bummed me out. Thanks, Player 5. All right, so for Goofy, I got to give it to Denji in Chainsaw Man.
Yeah.
When you read this most previous chapter and find out how OP Chainsaw Man is, it's bro, you just kind of gave up.
Denji, you trash, bro.
I'm talking about the actual, not the demon Chainsaw Man, but Denji the person. I got to give you Goofy. You just straight up said, feeling too sad, feeling too depressed. First off, let me pause. Not trying to bang on anybody, that's suffering through those illnesses and those afflictions. My heart goes out to you. But to just completely give yourself to this person with no kind of boundary, with no kind of I guess foresight and thinking at all. And then as soon as you just straight murder your best friend under the person who you just gave yourself to, and you see how merciless and cold-blooded she is, that homegirl didn't flinch, straight bodied her and kept going to sip some tea with her dogs. I mean, bro, that didn't hit you at all that? I mean,
and then the fact that she also tried to make him feel like he was shitty for killing the dad that abused the shit out of him. That part, she was like, you deserve all this because your daddy beat the shit out of you and you killed that motherfucker. I
I
was like, what the fuck, bitch? Like, you ain't never getting me with that logic. What the hell?
Yeah, no, that was redonkulous. And then to find out that it's like, I mean, we all knew low key that Chainsaw Man was legit, but now finding out that he's literally the boogeyman of demons. It's Jesus Christ, bro. Like you way too OP to just be able to give yourself up like that. Like it's just sad. So I got to give him big goofy status. Because I mean, homie literally just slapped the Hell Devil, which is literally hell. Like you beat the demon that represents hell.
Yep.
What? Can we pause? And then going along the fact that every demon that actually was chilling in hell, you beat too, and you just come back unscathed.
And you basically wipe them from existence.
Right.
As you kill or
that logic, does that mean now no one even thinks about or can't even remember the concept of hell? That's ridiculous. Like that's so effing ridiculous, dude. It's just like, bro, what are you doing? Like, fuck. So yeah, mad goofy status to that. But actually, now that I talk about it, I'm gonna give like an honorable mention MVP to just Chainsaw Man the Demon in the first place, because that motherfucker cold. Like,
hey, bro, does that mean it goes to Puchita? Because I'm wondering, like, Puchita, you was that broken this whole fucking time, my guy?
Yeah, I didn't even think about it like that. Yeah, no, those are facts. All right, so MVP is a Puchita. Yeah, like Denji not getting any of that clout because that's right. Oh wow.
Okay. So for my MVP, I'm going with Deku. It's just that, we almost 300 chapters in, since chapter 1, we really just been waiting for that moment for Deku to kind of be on the center stage, save everybody, announce himself. And although he didn't say, I am here, which I don't think he ever should, he really did just save like every top 10 hero. Like he just say, well, like 4 out of the 10 top 10 heroes, like all his classmates, all these niggas, he just saved all these niggas' lives in one moment without hesitation, and then is about to steal on the big bad. Even if nothing happens from here, that moment is in everybody's head, right? Deku just did that, and I want to give him props. 3 quirks at once, that's hard.
I'm gonna let you finish, but I just want to put one comment out there, which is that I don't care how dope Deku gets, All Might will still sue a nigga for taking his goddamn line, bro. That's why that nigga didn't say that. All Might will still, I don't care if you're my mentee or what, nigga, I will still sue your ass for copyright infringement if you take on. You know how many fucking toys I sold with that fucking name on it, nigga? Hell no.
What if that was like an actual arc? Like Deku finally says, I am here, but then All Might's PR team is suing the shit out of him.
Sue the fuck out that nigga, bro. And All Might don't own his own likeness. So whatever company owns that nigga likeness, hell fucking no.
You know how much money we make off the term I am here, nigga? That's the #1 selling ringtone in 8 different countries, nigga.
Right. You ain't just saying that shit. You better run me my check, Deku. What?
Hey, that's why that nigga Endeavor he said just watch me. He want to try and catch that lawsuit.
He trying to flip it around. It's like flipping the Nike around, just the just do it to just like I do things.
I do it. Just did it.
Hey, bro, they will sue that nigga, bro. They will sue him. They said they don't care about the chaos that's going on in the world. We still got niggas listening, bro. We still heard that.
On my Goofy, JoJo season 5.
Oh my god.
The whole season. Don't get me wrong. Were individuals fun? Was it fun? Were individual situations fun? Yes. Buktarakti, awesome. Cool guy. I'm copping his fit. When I get married, bro, I'm gonna have a heart cut out in my shit, bro. Like, I'm copying the fit. I'm even copying the bowl cut, bro. Like,
wow.
What about the Japanese Italian alliterations, like the Arriva Dirt? Like that shit was hard, bro.
I feel you. But I gotta give it a Goofy because I gotta blame the community on this. It was well overhyped. It was hyped into like a class 1 anime when it's really sitting around like high class 3, maybe 2. Like it's good. you know, you should watch it, but niggas definitely was goating it, and I'm disappointed in niggas that goated it because now y'all subverted my expectations.
Damn. Look, I'm gonna put this out there, not related to JoJo's, but related to JoJo's. I think maybe either as a separate video or in the next podcast, we have to sit down and really talk about toxic anime fan bases. Like, we really got to break these things down because there's a lot of them out there, and I feel like we can save a lot of people from going into anime into the wrong way if they just understand that the fan base for this shit is toxic. Because I
This needs
think
to be a
sometimes you
panel.
can. That's what I'm saying.
That
Sometimes
true?
you can appreciate a show better if the fan base doesn't ruin it for you. Like, when they set certain expectations and you feel like that's never met, it makes it feel shittier than it might actually be or whatever. And like I said, it's not just JoJo's. This is like Demon Slayer probably could have been better if it wasn't for the toxic fan base. You know what I'm talking about. Dragon Ball Z keeps people from watching it because its fan base is so goddamn toxic.
Dragon Ball Z
Like,
keep niggas out of anime, bro. Like,
right.
Those are fans.
So I feel like we gotta take we might not highlight all of them, but we should take a few, maybe in the next episode, or just break down the characteristics of these toxic fan bases and why you should listen to the motherfuckers, bro. Or how you can identify a fucking toxic fan. I don't know. There's a lot of ways to slice and dice it, but I'm definitely gonna put that on the docket.
Bet.
But yeah, I think that is it, unless you want to add more disrespect on season 5.
No, because like if I'm being real, it's a phenomenal anime. It is fun. It is good. Don't come at me in the comments, nigga. JoJo's not ass. It's decent, but some niggas hype it up too hard, and for that, y'all forced my hand. I have to give it a Goofy.
That's true. Sometimes you have to be like a gang boss and just make an example to let niggas know, like, stop crossing the line.
Yeah,
so you have to go over with it.
Do not goat this shit, nigga. Not in my presence, or I gotta do it to you.
I feel you. But all right, okay. That is it for episode 42. We will catch you guys in the next one. Leave all your thoughts and comments in the comment section if it exists where you're listening. If it doesn't, just hit us up on socials. Peace.
Deuces.
Bye. Peace.